online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/radio. And from
Good morning, everybody. It is the Mike Missanelli Show. We got some stuff to talk about today. The Phillies have lost 4 in a row, and if you're counting, they played 6 straight games without Bryce Harper, with no retribution, by the way. They have now a reshaped bullpen. Should I include? Here's the way it is: Romano, Strom, Kirkring, Walker. There's your 4. Romano, Strom, Kirkring, Walker. Seth Johnson, Banks, Ross, Hernandez. And then there was yesterday's game. Oh, my goodness gracious. I don't know how yesterday's game can happen. Let's start with the thing that irked me the most. It's so easy to get on Weston Wilson here, right? You know my feelings about Weston Wilson. He's not really a major league player. He's a 4A player. The Phillies forcing him to play left field is a ridiculous concept. But let's look at the 6th inning. Weston Wilson is up against a right-handed relief pitcher. Why on earth would a manager who regularly looks at the lefty-righty situation, why would he trust Weston Wilson, of all people, to hit in that situation? It doesn't make one bit of sense. What does he have, confidence in Weston Wilson? That he's going to get a hit against a right-handed pitcher? Now, that's the thing that irks me. When you look at the fielding errors, obviously Weston Wilson and the fly ball, he muffs, and then Trey Turner with the ground ball, and maybe the result would have been different. Trey Turner is a seasoned enough shortstop to know that he has to have better footwork. I don't understand how a veteran player, listen, as an infielder, you're taught to keep your feet loose, right? That ball came up on him. But when the ball comes up on you, your feet have to be nimble enough to take a step backwards, and then you scoop. It comes up. But if your feet are in the wrong position, that ball coming up on you is going to hit the heel of the glove. You got to have space to gather that ball. A shortstop, a major league shortstop that's been in the league that long, should know better than to do something like that. But here is the alarming statistic that I just read in the newspaper, in The Athletic. This season, when an opposing batter puts a pitch thrown by the Phillies in play, there is a 31.8% chance it will be a hit. Only the Colorado Rockies, the worst team in the history of baseball, have a lower rate. Now, this is a problem, folks. We haven't really talked about their defense that much. Let's be straight about this. The Phillies are a good team, but we measure the Phillies on whether they can win the whole thing. So it's just not like I'm picking up. I know the Phillies are a good team. I get it. They might be a playoff team. But when we're looking at things like this bullpen and this defensive statistic and the fact that Weston Wilson has to play in left field and that the manager had a brain cramp somehow, it's alarming today. And this is the stuff we need to talk about on the Mike Missanelli Show. Bill Colarulo's here. Ray Dunn is here. Good morning, Bill and Ray.
Good morning, Mike. Good morning, Ray. Good morning, everybody. Yeah, it was a rough weekend to be a Phillies fan because a lot of the problems that I don't want to say we've been ignoring, but that have kind of been brushed under the rug because they have been winning, were on full display. You had terrible defense, as you mentioned. Trey Turner booting that ball in the sixth inning when it's a 2-1 game. You're out of the inning if he makes that routine play. Edmundo Sosa having to play third because of the injury to Bryce Harper, and you got to move Bohm to first. Sosa's not a very good third baseman. That was on full display. And I'm waving the white flag today, Mike. I will no longer refer to Weston Wilson as Dub-Dub. He doesn't deserve a nickname anymore, Mike. I'm waving the white flag. You are correct. Weston Wilson should not be on this baseball team. He should certainly have not been in there in the sixth inning when, like you said, Rob Thompson all season long has, if it's a righty, he goes with Kepler. If it's a lefty, he goes with Wilson. And you got a right-hander on the mound. They bring in the right-handed reliever. Just go to Kepler. Go to Kepler. And then you don't even have Weston Wilson in the field making that disastrous play. But I don't want to put my anger even towards Weston Wilson or Rob Thompson. The issue, I guess, is Dave Dombrowski because you brought in Kepler to be your everyday left fielder, and he hasn't been working out. You're not trusting him against lefties, so that's the only reason Weston Wilson is even getting an opportunity in left field. I don't want to overreact. This is still a very good baseball team, but when you say we look at this team through the lens, are they good enough to win the World Series? Yeah, we're looking for perfection. The bullpen has issues. Left field has potential issues. The defense has massive issues. When you said that 31% of the time, when a ball is put into play, it's a hit, that is the worst batting average the Phillies have had since 1950, according to Matt Gelb. The worst batting average against since 1950 on balls in play with your Phillies, not including the shortened COVID year. I mean, that's just bad.
Here's the anomaly, though. The Phillies are tied with the fewest fielding errors in Major League Baseball. But what that stat says is they're not getting anything. That they're not making plays. They're not making plays on bloops. They're not making plays on balls maybe up the middle in the hole, stuff like that.
Yeah, and look at some of the plays that we've seen so far this season that weren't considered errors. Weston Wilson's yesterday in the, what was it, the sixth or the seventh where he made sixth. Was that seventh inning? It was the top of the seventh, I guess. That's not considered an error because he just misplays the ball.
Yeah.
Going back to when they had Sosa in left, remember that whole experiment?
Yep.
When that ball drops in front of him and Johan Rojas, that's not considered an error. And we know Major League Baseball now skews to make everything hits.
Right.
So you can't look at errors as the metrics. This is a bad defensive team right now.
Listen, I don't want to sit here and pick on Weston Wilson. It's not his fault. He is what he is. Like I've been saying for the longest time, these guys are what they are. Like they're no better than what they are. Like the Sosas of the world, the Weston Wilsons of the world. And so now it is clearly there's a bullseye on the general manager. The general manager sees the weakness of this team. I just mentioned the bullpen. You want me to go over it again? Romano, Strom, Kerkering, Walker.
He's the savior.
Walker. Seth Johnson, Banks, Ross, and like that's your bullpen. That's not good enough, and it is up to the gentleman. And like I sit here and go, well, maybe he's got a plan. Maybe he's smarter than all of us, and he's looking at all this stuff. He knows who he needs to acquire, who he doesn't need to acquire. But I'm looking at it right now, and I'm going. There have been two things that bugged me the whole time. One is that you expected to get something out of Weston Wilson, and the other is that you think your bullpen is good enough by just moving people around and shuffling chairs. Like, that doesn't work. Quality works. So it is up to Dave Dombrowski now. The Phillies are a mystery to me. Good team, just maybe not good enough when you get to the big games in the big series.
Yeah, and when you look at their record this season, even though they're 36-23, they're now 13-15 against teams above 500. They have not performed very well against teams above 500. They're going to be in Toronto starting tomorrow. Toronto is a team that's above 500, so we'll see how they fare in that series. But, yeah, how good are the Phillies? Because I have been a little higher than you have about this Phillies team. But even if they fix the bullpen, did some other issues get exposed this weekend?
Are we talking about Luzardo, maybe?
Well,
are you talking about Luzardo?
Here's the concern with
you had him
Luzardo.
as Sandy Koufax.
I did. And here's the concern with Luzardo. You look at his numbers from last season before he got hurt. He threw 66 and 2/3 innings, right? He just passes that total in his last start, and then his first start after passing that total, he does something we haven't seen since 1938 in a Phillies uniform, give up 12 earned in less than 4 innings pitched.
There's two things there. Number one, you leave him out to die like that, or two, how could a quality pitcher be that bad? Like that's what I don't understand. A quality pitcher like Luzardo should not be giving up 12 hits.
12 runs, you mean?
And 12 runs. Well, he gave him
12 hits too?
12. I think it was 12 hits, wasn't it? In any event, like that should never happen to a quality pitcher.
Yeah, you're right. 12 hits, 12 earned. But look, Luzardo has to be better, and you're not wrong, as I like to say, that he shouldn't be giving up that many runs. They got to get him the hell out of that game, Mike. You do not let him give up 12 earned. He clearly didn't have his stuff. Get him out.
He left him out there to die. They're trying to get outs and try to present. Again, the motivation for doing that is what? They're in the bullpen. They're afraid of their bullpen.
I don't even care about the bullpen at that point. Put anybody out there. Do not let a guy who has been awesome all season long, who has been battling for you all season long, don't let him suffer like that. Don't ruin his ERA. Don't ruin his stats. You pretty much eliminated any shot. Like, I don't think he would have won the Cy Young anyway, but you've eliminated any shot of him even being in contention after that start.
We're going to talk about the fighting Phils, and we got a lot of other stuff to talk about today, a variety of topics on the Mike Missanelli Show, including an NBA Finals that nobody will watch. That's unbelievable. And nobody's going to watch it. Two good teams, two very scrappy teams, two teams that define what the NBA is right now, and nobody's going to watch it. 610-632-0975 is how you get into the Mike Missanelli Show on 97.5 The Fanatic. Back after this.
Philadelphia Union Soccer. They play short here, quick.
Like, I am. I still can't get over it. I know you're over it, but 6 games without Harper with no retribution. That doesn't that make you crazy? That does not make you crazy. They took him out for 6 games with no retribution.
The retribution doesn't make me angry. Like that
You wouldn't have gotten a little bit of satisfaction out of some retribution when they took him out for 6 games.
It doesn't change the fact that he's still out for 6 games.
I know, but at least you get a little satisfaction. You chew a little bubble gum over it.
No, but I don't take any satisfaction on whether or not they would have done that. But what it did highlight, even when Harper isn't necessarily being Bryce Harper at the plate, he still affects that lineup so much.
Certainly affects the lineup.
Like they couldn't. You look at the 3 games against the Brewers. You take away the bottom of the 9th on Saturday where they put up 5 meaningless runs. They only averaged 2 runs a game.
Yeah, and they've given up a lot. By the way,
they gave up a ton.
Yeah, listen, 4 in a row. Okay, they lose 4 in a row. It's not the end of the world. They did relinquish it to the Mets, first place again. But there are some serious concerns with this team that this general manager now has to fix. I'm going to do this all day long. Romano, Strahm, Kerkering, Walker. That's how we're going to do it all game long.
Well, look, we
say
knew
nothing to Seth Johnson, Banks, Ross, and Hernandez.
But we knew about the bullpen issues. Like we've been talking about that for weeks.
Huh?
So we know that they got to fix the bullpen. But my concern is, did other issues get revealed this weekend? Because the bullpen is what it is, and I do expect Dombrowski to try to fix it. But what are they going to do in the outfield? Because if you're not going to trust Max Kepler, and if Rob Thompson doesn't trust him enough to pinch hit for him in the 6th inning, even when you got a right-hander on the mound, like, what are we doing here? That was our big off-season acquisition outside of
I gotta be
Luzardo.
honest, that might be, well, he made a couple blunders in the World Series, but or in the playoff series. I can't that's one of the biggest mistakes I've ever seen. Really, it's so fundamental what you do in that situation that the fact that he didn't do it for Weston Wilson is making me crazy.
And it also goes against everything that Rob Thompson has done all year. That's what makes it so head-scratching.
Like, if you have a hunch on somebody, it better be a hunch on somebody that you can trust. Not a guy hitting below 200, you know? Like, that's what I don't get. Sometimes managers have hunches. They go, that's righty. I got a hunch he's going to get hit here. Like, what's the hunch for Weston Wilson there? Well, and I know Kepler is not exactly Barry Bonds, but in that situation, it's a no-brainer, and he didn't do it.
It is a no-brainer.
Now, I don't know what did the commentators say about that, because I kind of had the sound down. Who is it? Was Schmitty?
Schmitty was in the booth.
Schmitty was in the booth with Ruben. Did they say anything about that?
I don't know if they did, Ray. I don't remember them saying anything about letting him hit in that spot.
I had no sound either.
I had the kids. You know what I mean? So it's hard sometimes to listen. Now, what I did hear, though, when we talk about how bad the fielding was, and this goes to the stat you gave earlier about it's not always just about errors. Edmundo Sosa, when there was a runner on third.
You thought he should have come to the plate there.
And what I heard, the moment the ball was hit, Schmitty, who's in the booth, starts saying, go home, go home, go home. Like, he's calling it out in live time.
Schmidt can make that play in his sleep.
Yes.
A guy like Sosa is probably thinking twice about it. He doesn't want to mess up, and he'll get the sure out.
Yeah, which wasn't necessarily a sure out.
Again, Bone will be back there, and Harper will be back. So like that'll level out. But it's funny. It's apparently I don't know what I'm talking about. Sosa is an everyday player. How's he look?
Well, maybe not as an everyday third baseman. I'll tell you what, though,
as an everyday hitter,
he would have been a lot better at short than we've getting from Trey, at least in the field.
I don't think so.
Not at the plate, in the field.
Don't trust Sosa in the field either, dude. Come on.
Trey's been a butcher at shortstop, man. I know he's been a little better.
He has not been a butcher at shortstop. This year he's been okay. That was just where he didn't set his feet right. The ball came up for him. You saw when the ball came up. It hit him in a yellow glove.
It's a big moment, though. I mean, you're out in the inning in a 2-1 game. They probably win.
You need to back up a step there in real time to make that play with soft hands. He didn't. He apparently is not that type of fielder. Every fielder makes that play by just shifting back a half a step.
Yeah, Trey struggled, though. Well, this is why, and I'm not going to revisit this. It's too late now, but that's why there have been people over the last 2 seasons saying Trey should be in the outfield, that he should not be at short. You should put Trey in the outfield. You can't do it now.
Now we're overreacting.
Well, no, this has been something that people have been saying for a while.
But now we're overreacting about his ability. He's going to be the shortstop. He's played much better at that shortstop, and yesterday he did. He made a bad play, and Weston Wilson in left field, obviously. But again, you can't do anything about physical errors. Like, they're going to happen. But when you can manage the game, and it's not brain surgery to manage a baseball game, there are certain fundamental things you do. And in the 6th inning, he didn't do a fundamental thing, which I do not understand in the slightest. Like, I just don't get. I'm apoplectic again with the apoplectic word.
It's a good word. Thank God you didn't ask me to spell that on Friday, though. That would have been a tough one, Ray. Well, look, even Rob Thompson admitted it after the game.
He's got that
he would have pinch hit in that situation.
I don't care about him admitting after the game. In real time, it's a no-brain decision. There are decisions a manager doesn't have to make. They make themselves.
And it's something, like I said, he's been doing all year. That's what left me so head-scratching. Like, what are you doing here? You've always pinch hit for Wilson with Kepler when they bring a righty. Why not in that moment? Look, they got to do something. I agree with you. Weston Wilson's not the answer in left field. He can't be your right-handed bat. I know Kepler has not been setting the world on fire, even against right-handed pitching, but I think you got to give him a shot at this point. Just put Kepler in there. Let him stay in left field. Let him hit against lefties. Let's see what you have, because you're probably going to have to upgrade that position if Kepler's not the answer. So let's at least give him a chance to see what we got as an everyday left fielder.
All right. So you still do not want the pound of flesh. You still, like, in retrospect, missing 6 games. I just want to be sure about this. You didn't get in reviewing that whole situation. Do you not wish the Phillies would have hit somebody on the Braves?
No, hasn't changed my position.
Hasn't changed.
No, because it wasn't intentional.
The Phillies did not get their pound of flesh. You know where pound of flesh comes from? You know where the saying comes from?
I don't know where the saying comes from.
Big brain on Ray?
No
Where
idea.
Comes from? No? Pound of flesh?
No.
Come on, man.
I'm on the edge of my seat here.
Shakespearean. It's the Merchant of Venice.
Well, in what context?
It is Shylock. Pound of flesh. He was the moneylender. He gives pound of flesh if you don't pay the debt.
Oh, they literally would take a pound of flesh.
No, it was the saying.
I'm going to look up the true meaning of it. I don't know if you fully understand.
They literally would have taken a pound of flesh, but it comes from the Merchant of Venice. I'm pretty sure. At being a Shakespearean scholar like I am. 610-632-0975. Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Swept by the Brewers. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. The Phillies got swept this weekend by the Milwaukee Brewers. Have lost 4 games in a row now. Sunday was a 5-2 loss for defensive miscues. Struggles with playing scoring position doomed them. The Phillies have now been outscored 37-14 in their last 4 games, falling into second place in the NL East. They get a day today to regroup before they head to Toronto for a 3-game set. Zach Wheeler gets to start Tuesday night against the Blue Jays to open up that series and hopefully put an end to this losing skid. Eagles OTAs continue this week with 3 practices, one of which will be open to the media. I assume we will hear from a number of people with the Eagles that day. Vic Fangio, probably the coordinator that we will hear for in that one. And someone who will not be at OTAs this week is Bryce Huff, who on Friday was traded to the San Francisco 49ers for a mid-round draft pick. That trade now can become official this week now that we're post June 1st. Union over the weekend has scored the draw with FC Dallas, still first place in the Eastern Conference in Major League Soccer. This update is brought to you by WhatsApp. On WhatsApp, your personal messages stay private because your personal messages are yours. No one else can see or hear them, not even WhatsApp. WhatsApp, message privately with everyone. I'm Ray Dunn on your home for NBA playoff action, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
is the Mike Missanelli Show. You know, a little later in the show, since Ray is a Gen Zer. You know what the trend is for Gen Zers these days? We'll get into this a little later. It has nothing to do with the Phillies, but you know how I digress. In the bar.
No, I don't know.
They don't run a tab.
Is this the constant closeout problem?
Yeah.
Because everyone thinks they're moving somewhere else and they never end up actually leaving the same bar?
Yeah, bartenders are not happy.
Interesting.
Bartenders are not happy because it takes more time for them to check out every drink that's bought instead of running a tab.
Mike, there are a lot of times where I'll go back at you in defense of my generation. I have no defense. I've seen so many people do this, and it drives me crazy.
I want to get into it. We're going to get into this a little later, the psychology of it. This is the type of thing that the show is. Like, we'll bounce around. Like, when I need a breath, like thinking that you still are not pro-retribution for Bryce Harper missing 6 games, or when I look at this bullpen and I see Taijuan Walker as a high-leverage guy, I have to, like, it's almost like I'm a beach ball. It's overinflated, and you got to kind of like tap the valve out a little bit.
Well, listen, baby steps, man. I gave you Weston Wilson today. I can't let you. I can't let you be successful on everything.
Here's the frustrating part. At the time I say it, you're not in. Like you have an inherent lack of trust with me.
Bill, just listen to Mike.
I know.
You just have an inherent mistrust. I've been trying to tell you about. No, he's right-handed power bat. Your sister.
So right.
He's not. He's at 4. I've said from the jump he's a 4A player. He's 4A. It's a shame, but that's what he is.
Bill, just listen to Mike.
Here's the best part. I'm sitting on the couch. I'm watching the Phillies game. Weston Wilson makes that horrible play in left. My phone's in the kitchen. Within 30 seconds, my wife says to me, "Hey, Mike Missanelli just texted you." I go, "I know what it's about. Can you just open it and read it to me?" And she says, "All it says is dub dub."
That's
all.
That's all that needed to be said.
I knew it was coming.
It's dub dub.
Bill,
And again, I'm not blaming the guys. Not like I have anything against them. There are certain players that are certain things in baseball.
Yeah, he's not. Look, and you said it earlier,
It's their
too.
fault.
It's their fault.
Stick him in left field for crying out loud.
He was basically an infielder. They're trying him in outfield. But look, what is the answer? I'm saying that they should give Kepler an opportunity to be an everyday player, but he hasn't necessarily instilled confidence
He's not an everyday player either.
So what's the answer?
The answer is Dombrowski's got to find it. That's what the answer is. He's got to find the answer. Because I don't get paid to do it.
I see people on social pushing for time to bring up Otto Kemp.
Can't play left field.
Yeah, he doesn't help you.
You can't bring Otto Kemp up, play left field. They don't have a solution unless he makes a move. You know, enough of this round, square peg in a round hole. It doesn't fit.
But then,
good Lord,
if you got to give
make
up
this so difficult,
but if
the Phillies,
if you got to give up prospects to get a left fielder, what are you doing about prospects for the bullpen?
I don't know. You give up marginal prospects to get somebody who could hit from the right side. You got to do. What are you? You have to be a genius and see what's wrong with this team. Well, where are they weak, Bill? They're weak in 2 blatant areas: the left field area, maybe the center field area, but certainly the left field area and the bullpen.
And that's where I direct my anger towards Dave Dombrowski, because you went into this season knowing what the issues were. When you looked at this team last year, what did you in the playoffs? Your bullpen fell apart. You let Jeff Hoffman walk, which looked like the smart move, but did you do enough to fix the bullpen? Alvarado getting suspended isn't necessarily Dombrowski's fault.
You know what's worse? They try to sell you like, no, this Taijuan Walker now is a good thing. His stuff plays. His stuff plays. He's got a splitter. Okay. He's got a 92-mile-an-hour fastball. Where's his stuff play?
Yeah, and in the bullpen, he's not necessarily a swing and miss guy.
No, he's not.
So that's not what you're looking for in a bullpen arm. But hey, maybe Taijuan Walker's the savior, Ray. I know you're excited about it.
Stop it with
you
the
got
savior
your number
stuff.
99
Again,
jersey.
It's like the Phillies operate on the cross fingers thing. Like they cross their fingers. Like you can't win with cross fingers. You got to know. Let's go to the text board, Ray. What are people saying on the text board?
The text board is already humming today. We have a texter from Chris from Washington Township. Not retaliating is 100% why this team has fell on its face. They are a soft and weak team, and every team knows it. That Brave series will do to the Phillies what the London series did to them last year.
Well, they won 2 or 3 in that series. But again, the lingering effect of they put that guy out for 6 games. 6 games that hit by pitch, and you got nothing out of it. You know what you got out of it? Well, but people don't do that these days. Well, yes, they do. They should, because at least you get a little satisfaction and you fought back a little bit. 6 games they took him out for. 6.
Well, hopefully he's back tomorrow.
It doesn't matter if he's back tomorrow. They took him out for 6 games, 4 of which they lost.
But to that texter's point, all right, do we really believe that them not retaliating is the reason that Velardo gave up 12 runs? Come on.
But it's a mindset. It's a mindset that you had an opportunity to do something to satisfy your soul, and you didn't. And that kind of thing lingers. And I don't care what Jason Stark says. My buddy Jason, that things aren't like, no, you would have got at least a little satisfaction. Oh, yeah. All right, they took him out for 6 games, but at least we got Albies. You know? Something. All right, what else the text board saying?
Sean from Cinnaminson. Bullpen aside, let's look at the fielders and team. Marsh, Rojas, Sosa, Wilson, Kepler, and even Stott are not everyday players. Add that with the declining JT. That's a lot of holes in a contender. Dave has not done a great job here.
Ooh. It's not wrong.
Yeah, Stott, well, it's a little too hard on Stott. He's in a slump right now.
He is. But Mike, you and I both are high on Stott. You've been high on Stott for a few years. But when the texter says he's not an everyday player, that's how they're playing him. Rob Thompson has not trusted him to be an everyday player.
No, because he likes your boy Sosa too much. That's the other thing. If it wasn't Sosa, maybe he is an everyday player. He loves to get Sosa in the lineup.
But it is interesting when you look at this Phillies team that we want to be a World Series contender, that they don't have an everyday player at second, they don't have an everyday player at left, they don't have an everyday player in center. It's a lot of issues.
The 93 Phillies went to the World Series like that.
Yeah, who are they platooning? Jim Eisenreich and Pete Incaviglia in left?
No, they Milt Thompson and Pete Incaviglia and Jim Eisenreich and Wes Chamberlain and Mickey Morandini and Mariano Duncan. That's 3 positions.
Now, does it surprise you that I was a big Incaviglia fan?
No, it doesn't.
Does that surprise you at all?
That's cement head. Yeah, I was in that clubhouse a lot that year, right? That dude would walk around with a bat in his hand, menacing reporters.
Really?
Oh, yeah. He'd walk around with a bat like he's a big tough guy. Like, don't say anything to me. Don't come over here and talk to me.
And then who was...
dude, I can tell you 100,000 stories about that 93 team.
Who was was it Jim Jackson
and
who ripped his shirt
beloved.
off? Was it
Danny Jackson?
Danny Jackson, not Jim
another
Jackson.
nutbag.
Yeah, he would rip his shirt off and do the Hulk Hogan every time they won.
Dave Hollins, the dude. They were all nuts. 610-632-0975. We'll get to our callers after this.
We want to hear from you, so text us at 610-
Oh, here comes Bill. But you're digging this. You're digging this right now. This is the National. Come on.
Oh, this is who you saw.
Oh, I saw Matt Berninger in his solo gig. You know, it's really funny. Matt Berninger, that's the lead singer of the National. So he's now got a solo album out, and he collaborates with like a million people, including like Taylor Swift and Phoebe Bridgers and people like that. I don't understand like the solo thing is like when you're used to playing with a band. How do you flip and play with another band? And what would be the point of that?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I don't understand. I mean, a lot of artists do it.
Yeah, he's got a solo tour going on right now, and it's completely different than what you see with the National. It's more laid back and chill.
Yeah.
But I go, like, why? You know, like the National is very successful. Just do another album with the National and go on tour with the National. Like, you know?
Yeah, I don't understand it, but I mean, a lot of them do it.
Yeah.
Remember when Justin Timberlake did it? You know, very similar to the lead singer.
Yeah. Now he is not he's not a musician either.
No.
So he's just a singer and a songwriter. So he writes songs with people, but he doesn't play.
But your dude is still going to be with the National. This is just kind of a side venture.
I don't know. I don't know how the rest of the band feels. Do they like that? Do they like taking the break, or do they like the fact that he assembles another band, or I don't know.
Yeah, maybe they just don't want to tour.
Anyway, I don't want to get off the tangent. There's another tangent I want to get off of. Did I read? We're not talking about the Eagles much, OTAs, but did I read something on Rube's 10 Things?
Yeah, on NBC Sports Philadelphia,
where he called. Let me just see if I can find it. Hold on a second, because I don't want to misquote him. Oh my God, where is it? Oh, now I can't find it. Did he actually call Tanner McKee a beast?
I could read it for you.
Yeah.
Hey, can you read it, Ray? What do you got? Read it.
All right. There weren't a lot of conclusions to draw, especially with a bunch of veterans sitting out the voluntary session. One thing did stand out. Tanner McKee is a freaking beast. With Devontae Smith absent and A.J. Brown sitting out of most drills, most of Jalen Hurts' passes were underneath or horizontal. He's got nothing to prove to anybody. No reason to air it out. But McKee had a couple of opportunities to throw deep, and it was impressive to watch.
Come on, man. See, this is the kind of thing, this is the kind of stuff that journalists put out there that lead fans to go over the top. You know? Yeah, how many times do we hear, Tanner McKee should be the backup. He had a great preseason game. Like, come on, man. Let's
he is probably going to be your backup now.
Well, okay.
Right? Because you got rid of Kenny Pickett.
Is he a beast?
No, and there's many things wrong with this. And I do enjoy the Rube's observations. I read them a lot. But, I mean, come on, man. Like, not only is it Tanner McKee, it's OTAs. They're in shorts and T-shirts. Like, to call him a freaking beast after one open practice of OTAs is a little bit much. But you wouldn't give him credit. And I'm still going to hold you to this. You would refuse to give him credit after he had that great performance against the Giants in Week 18 last year. He went 27 of 41, 269 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Coming off a 3-for-4 performance against Dallas where he just comes in after Pickett gets hurt and he throws 2 touchdowns going 3-for-4. So if
So much good.
If Rube would have said he was a freaking beast after those 2 games, then I can understand. But OTAs, I'm with you.
McKee tossed a deep ball to Danny Gray.
Danny Gray.
Like, come on. Like, what?
Who?
What? Who is he?
All
right. All right. Let's get. I'm sorry. Sometimes I have to do stuff like that. Let's go to our leadoff hitter today, Greg from Bethlehem. Greg, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. What's up, Greg?
Gentlemen, how we doing?
How you doing?
Good. Rough weekend for the Phils. You know, to quote Shakespeare again, something is rotten in the state of Denmark.
Hamlet.
Wow.
That's Hamlet.
Yeah, I figured I'd pick up on your earlier reference.
Yeah. Were you aware of the Merchant of Venice reference?
Yeah.
Say Bill wasn't.
Yeah,
Bill had to check my work again.
Yeah.
Bill Google here, check my work.
And Mike was correct.
Yeah.
Well, as usual, does the weekend change your relative urgency to fix the bullpen
My urgency was in spring training. Really, I looked at this pen. I go, you can't possibly get it done with a pen like this. I know you're a good team, but come on, you're kidding yourself.
What's the likelihood that they'll find a dance partner before the trade deadline?
I mean, I don't know if he wants to do it before the trade deadline. I have no idea what he's thinking. He's smart enough to not like this stuff he puts out there to cloud the issue. Like, that's just to con people and to keep them at bay. As a smart baseball guy, you got to understand what's up here.
Yeah, in that regard, he reminds me a little bit of Maury. There's always a little bit of snake oil salesman in these GMs, and
we have a good club. We have a good club.
Yeah,
we just have to add.
Exactly.
We have to add a couple things, but we have a good club. Yeah, he says all the time.
We have internal solutions or something like that.
Yeah. Now listen, Taiwan Walker's going to come in, guaranteed. He's going to be successful early, and then people go, Mike, you don't know what you're talking about, Mike. And then you're going to see water finds its own level. Now, the thing that Taiwan Walker is a solution in high leverage situations that we're talking. High leverage. You got to get strikeouts in high leverage.
Yeah, I mean, half of being a closer is between the ears. And at this point, I mean, I don't know what Walker is between the ears. I mean, he might...
between the ears, I think he's all right between the ears. It's his stuff that I worry about. I mean, it's like, here's the beauty of it. He's not a strikeout pitcher. You're not going to get strikeouts in high leverage. So what happens? They put the ball in play. What stat did I say earlier when somebody puts the ball in play? What happens to the Phillies? They're second to the Colorado Rockies.
Yeah, an opponent batting average at 318. Walker is not... I know he's the temporary solution. I don't see him as the long-term solution.
Well, they're trying it out. This is what I'm saying. They cross their fingers in hopes that something good will happen out of it, and you can't operate that way.
But I do believe that Dombrowski will address this bullpen at the deadline. And Greg asked about the urgency. I think if you try to address it now, you're going to overpay a little bit. Like, I do think that they should tread water until the trade deadline. They're a good enough team. They're going to win a lot of games with this starting rotation, even with the bullpen being maybe a little bit weak. So I don't think you need to overbuy right now and give away too many prospects to get someone this early. You wait till the deadline to see who comes available.
I don't buy that anymore. You want
to see him do something now?
I'm tired of being cautious. This is a ridiculous solution to think that Taiwan Walker in high leverage situations is going to do the job. It's foolish to even attempt it. Now, maybe he's a long man. I get it. You can release somebody else and make him a long man, but a high leverage guy who doesn't strike anybody out.
And you're right. That's what they're doing. Thompson said after the game, preferably one inning. Like, they want to see what he could do in high leverage situations.
What is he going to, like, all right, maybe it's me. 610-632-0975 back after this.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Right by the Brewers, I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. Phillies got swept this weekend by the Milwaukee Brewers, now having lost 4 games in a row. Sunday was a 5-2 loss where defensive miscues, struggles with runners in scoring position doomed them. The Phillies have now been outscored 37-14. Yes, that is right. 37-14. The last 4 games have fallen to second in the National League East. They get a day today to regroup before they head to Toronto for a 3-game series. Zach Wheeler gets to start Tuesday night against the Blue Jays, hoping to turn things around and end this losing skid. Eagles OTAs continue this week. 3 practices, one of which will be open to the media. We assume we'll hear from a few people from the Eagles brass when they are open up to the media. We'll carry those pressers live for you here on The Fanatic. Someone who will not be at OTAs, Bryce Huff, who's been traded to the San Francisco 49ers, a trade that can become official this week because we're now past June 1st. It's reportedly for a mid-round draft pick. Union had a scoreless draw with FC Dallas over the weekend. Union remained in first place in the Eastern Conference in Major League Soccer. This update is brought to you by AAA Tire and Auto Service. Come to your local AAA Tire and Auto Service location and save $40 on any repair of $150 or more. Offer valid through June 30th. Details at AAA.com/mycar. I'm Ray Dunn on your home for the NBA Finals. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Mike Missanelli Show, 97.5, The Fanatic. Lawnmower dilemma I need to discuss a little later. Also, so many things that get off my chest today.
You had a long weekend, man.
Did the lawn front and back of Sunday, right? I got looks like I got a bent right front wheel. And hence, the lawn is being cut unevenly. It's like on a slant now.
Yeah, I hate when that happens.
Yeah, like you have experience. So I'm thinking, okay, it looked like to me the wheel axle part is bent from me abusing the lawnmower and going over rougher terrain like bamboo stumps and stuff.
You got bamboo in your yard?
Yeah.
That's hard to get rid of.
Oh, it's ridiculous. And it goes outside my fence. It's going towards the street, the whole bit. So on that part of it, I got to chop it down and then go over with the lawnmower. And well, anyway, nobody wants to hear my problems. My situation with the lawnmower, though, is if I take it into the lawnmower shop, and there's one down the street from me, I'm thinking that the repair might be, because the axle's bent and you just can't replace a wheel, the repair might be close to a hunch. So is it worth it at this point when you can buy a lawnmower for like, I don't know, $350? Is it worth it to spend $100 on a repair, even though the engine still hums? And this is the kind of thing I need a homeowner to talk me through, and I'm running it by you, and you have no idea what the hell is going on.
Yeah, I am a homeowner, but the wrong one to talk to about this.
Right. Never owned a lawnmower?
What I would do.
Have you ever owned a lawnmower?
I have not.
You've never owned one?
I have not. So if I were you.
I find that hard to believe.
What-
Man. You're a man. What are you, in your mid-40s?
I'll be 42 next week.
Jesus.
A week from today is my birthday.
You've never used one? Ever?
I've mowed maybe a lawn in my life. Maybe one time when I was a kid. Once. I've never owned a lawnmower.
Okay,
and if I was in your position, if my lawnmower happened to break, I wouldn't buy a new one. I wouldn't get it fixed. I would just get a lawn service.
No, I see.
That's the way to
That's
go.
not helpful. That's not helpful because mowing the lawn is recreation for me.
Yeah, it's not for me. I don't know.
Well, we're completely different. You're lazy. You're a lazy ass, and I'm not. So
you're not, and I'm in the minority here. I think most people would agree with you. There is something therapeutic about it.
I want you to separate yourself from your non-lawnmower status and use some logic here. Is it worth it to spend $100 on a repair when you can buy one new for $350? If so, what would you do with the old lawnmower?
Can you trade it in?
Things that keep me up at night.
Well, can you trade it in at a lawnmower store?
No,
They won't take it?
I don't think so.
Give you like $100 credit?
I don't think so.
So that would be the play if you could swing it.
Yeah, Ray, you have any advice on this as a man who probably has mowed? Your
I've definitely mowed more lawns than Bill.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Okay. All right. So what do you think?
I think you're in trouble.
Cost effective to just buy a new one?
Probably. I can't imagine they're going to find a way to fix that without someone charging you ridiculously anyways. Might as well just be time for it. How long have you had the lawnmower?
I don't know. I've had it for maybe 7 years.
Yeah, it's giving you a good lifetime.
It's a nice Honda, though. It starts all.
Is it a riding mower?
No.
You know what you do.
It's a automatic.
Self-propelled?
It's got self-propelled.
You little Facebook Marketplace, just like, hey, listen.
I'm already trying to
Doesn't
sell my
work.
car on Facebook. I put my ad in for my car.
Oh, you
Did
put
you?
up.
Yeah, I put an ad in.
Wait, what do you got again? The Fiat?
Classiccars.com.
What is it again?
Yeah, it's a Fiat Spider. Convertible.
What's
1980.
what's the listing price?
I want I don't know. Best offer.
I have $5 in my wallet. Someone
By the
beat
way,
that.
I still owe you $2, right? I haven't forgotten.
I forgot about that entirely.
I haven't had ones in my pocket for a long time. I just carry hunches. You know what I'm saying? So I could rip off a piece of it and give it to you.
No, that's okay. I forgot entirely about it. I legitimately only have this $5 in my wallet.
And the father-in-law has weighed in on the lawnmower conversation.
What's the father-in-law say?
His recommendation: tell Mike to repair it if everything else is good.
Everything's good.
Yeah, so he's saying just repair it; it's worth it.
You can either mulch or you got a bag on it too. That's what I want to know.
All right. So the father-in-law is knowledgeable in these areas.
All right. So how much the father-in-law thinks it's going to cost me? Fix that wheel.
All right. Well, if you're listening, weigh in on that as well. Maybe
Yeah,
he'll fix it for you.
I was going to say, you're going to have them at your house within a few hours.
Think you can come over? I'll bring it into work. And I roll it in.
Father-in-law had babysitting duties last night.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
He does it all.
Went out for your anniversary. We'll talk about that in a second after I tell you that it's 11 o'clock. and it's the Mike Missanelli Show, and you're listening to WPEN HD1, Burlington, Philadelphia, BC Media Group station, broadcasting live from Comcast Business Studios, powering possibilities. All right, let's start the 11 o'clock hour with Jamie in D.C., he's got some bitching to do about the Phils. Jamie, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. What's up, Jamie?
What's going on, fellas?
How are you?
Mike, to answer your good. Did you have it diagnosed? You know it's the axle, or could it just be a
no, it looks like it because I can't.
On a bamboo stick.
Yeah, no, I can't adjust it like with. You know, it has that lever that you adjust the height of the wheel.
Sure.
It's not. I can't balance both the front wheels, so it's slanted down to the left. So it's an axle problem.
Yeah, it sounds like an alignment. I would do an alignment more than a car payment, you know. So but it's totally up to you. I know you guys.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I hate to give this is my buddy, the slow mower. I hate to give it up. I get attached to things.
Yeah, well, I can understand your therapeutic. Now, I think it's a violation that Bill has never cut grass. He probably has no calluses on his hands, but that might be a whole other story.
No, I got calluses. They just come from the bars in the gym.
Oh God. I knew that was coming. I could see that coming from.
You could see him.
I could see that coming from Weston Wilson in left field.
I like it. Hey, so let's talk about the offense. Right?
Uh-huh.
Like, if the offense produces, and I'm not, I know it's a long season, Bill, and I agree and stuff, but if the offense puts runs up, then it doesn't put pressure on pitchers to be in those situations we talk about where they pitch to contact, right? You give some room. Now, that whole weekend with starting pitching, the Brewers have a very potent offense. We have a potential potent offense. We have an aging offense, but we don't really play small ball too well. If everyone's not seeing the ball, it kind of reminds me of the playoffs. You get in a series against a hot team, and you expect all this from your pitchers. You get your ace out there on Friday. You do these things, and then you have the Luzardo, who's pitched well above what we expected him to do. But I just think that the offense has to give that back end a little.
Which brings me to this. Somebody hit 2 home runs on Saturday. Who was that for the Brewers? Who hit those 2?
I think his name was
Reese.
I think he threw the bat down too. Did he slam his bat?
Did he slam the bat down? Reese went yard twice on Sat. So again, the conversation is, what do you think? I don't know.
It's
Bryce is not going to move, especially now with that bruise on his elbow. He's not moving.
Yeah, I don't see. I would love Alec Baum's doing the best he can over there, but even that pick at first, he's just not used to it.
Yeah, they're askew right now. He's a third baseman, and Bryce will be back at first base, and they'll have more of a settled lineup. But it doesn't remove the 2 problems that they had coming into the year. The 2 problems they had coming into the year. Well, actually, center field was more of a problem than left field because you thought Kepler was going to be good for you, but he's not. He's an average hitter now at this stage of his life.
And Thompson doesn't trust him against lefties. So you don't have a right-handed bat because the answer is not Weston Wilson. We learned that. Mike just learned that this weekend.
Yeah. I was high on him for a while.
Yeah, you were high on Weston Wilson for a long time.
Yeah.
But they're not even giving Kepler an opportunity. So if you brought him here to be your everyday left fielder, that's why I'm saying at least try it. But to that caller's point about the offense being stale, that's where I don't want to overreact because they're still top 10 in a lot of categories at the plate, in runs scored, in batting average, all these things. So you look at no Bryce Harper has a ripple effect throughout the line.
Yeah, I haven't mentioned their offense at all.
No, the caller did. He said that it's a stale line.
I know. He wants them to play small ball. They're not going to play small ball. So they are what they are. So they're like hoping for things that they aren't. It's not the way to go either. They're a certain,
But this is where I do think sometimes we're hypercritical. Mm-hmm. We say they can't play small ball. Well, they were playing small ball in the beginning of the year, and it was they got to slug, and now they were slugging a little bit, and it's now they can't play small ball again. So I do think the lineup, even if they don't make any moves, my bigger concern, and we've talked about it, is the bullpen. If you fix this bullpen with the starting rotation that you have, even with this lineup, they can win a World Series. Would I love to see them bring a right-handed bat to the outfield? Of course, but I'm putting that number 2 on the list, not
Romano, Strom, Kirkering, Walker. I'm just going to say it. By the way, we're being observed here by the French Central dudes. Ray Dunn. Ray, explain to the people that you hosted a class from French Central today, and we all spoke with them, and now they're looking at us And
they're doing the whole zoo animal thing with you guys right now.
The zoo animal
Yeah, I
thing.
feel like I'm in an aquarium.
Yeah, right now, Bill kind of he's cut from the same Friends Central cloth since he went to a private high school. But Ray, explain what's going on here.
Yeah, this is a super interesting course that they're doing this spring at Friends Central. That's all about Philadelphia sports and kind of like what it means about the identity of the city. It's literally called "Why Are We Like This?" And the idea is diving into our sports identity as a city, what it says about us as a city, what it says about our culture, and what sports mean to Philadelphians. So they've been doing that all spring. They've been diving into that. They're taking a trip here today. They got a chance to talk with both of you earlier about what's it like to be on Sports Talk Radio, why Sports Talk Radio is so big here, what it does for the people every day. And I'm sure they're going to report back on this one to their teachers.
You know what the most frustrating part of it? Every one of these kids is smarter than me. I went to, they get a Friends Central. I went to no Friends Central. So, there you go, Bill.
Oh. And obviously never went to comedy school either.
Yeah. Actually, that wasn't bad. On the top of my head, yeah. All right, let's go to Reggie. Oh, Reggie, where in the world is Reggie? He's currently in Arizona, and he's not happy with the Phillies either. Reg, what's happening?
A moment of silence. Good morning, Mike. Good morning.
Good morning, Reggie. How you doing?
Good morning, Bill.
Bill, he said good morning to you.
Oh, good morning, Reg.
Yeah.
I was waiting for it.
Bill has never pushed a lawnmower, never connected a garden hose to the spigot, never.
It's hard to believe. It's fascinating to me. The guy has a house.
Now, I have done the garden hose because I have been watering my lawn, but big news, sprinkler system's getting installed today, so I'm not going to have to do that anymore.
I almost purposely drove off the cliff when he said.
It's hard to believe. Big muscle dude that has never operated a lawnmower. It's unbelievable.
I almost lost my what is my thought about the Dave Dombrowski? When he spoke the other day, and y'all did the clips, he talked about, and he gave me the impression that the Phils would be better because the rest of the league would be diluted in talent and not from him doing anything to improve the club. That's what I got from what he said the other day.
Well, we have a good club. There's a lot of clubs out there that would that envy like what we have, and so I know that we have a good club. So.
Club,
Yeah.
and we're looking at the club, and
we have a good club. A lot of clubs are not as good as we are, so we're happy about that.
And then your first caller, what's his name, Jamie? He said about an alignment. You could do like the plumbers do when they have a butane torch and they heat up to bend metal a little bit. Maybe on that lawnmower's wheel, you could do that. And
oh yeah, I'm going to blow torch it now.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well,
what do you think I am here, Mr. Fix It? Yeah, I'm not going to blow torch it, Reg. But thanks for the suggestion. I got my lawnmower guy over there. You know, I need a tune-up on the light. Sometimes you need the tune-ups.
Yep.
You can need new plugs. You know.
Yep, I know.
I'll tell you the hard for me to believe. I can't. I'm astonished by this.
I will tell you on the other side. I'll tell you the real reason why I never mowed a lawn. I'll tell you about it. There's an actual story here.
Somebody texted it. Bill's got all those muscles and no reason to use them.
Yeah, I'll tell you why on the other side.
Is this a good story, or are we going to waste 5 minutes?
It's a 30-second story, but it makes sense on why I don't.
Oh, it does make sense.
Yeah.
I can't wait to hear why you've never operated a lawnmower, Bill. 610-632-0975. Back after this.
Andrew Salciunas.
Don't
He's about to tell the world why he's never operated a lawnmower. This is a dramatic storytelling, and Ray, I don't know if we have any music, some kind of dramatic.
I don't know if it's
orchestra music as a backdrop to this, but that's Ray's fiddling with something.
Yeah, I don't know if it's worth all this hype. We were just up against the break.
Yeah, well, I'm sure it's a really good story. So
no, the reason I've never mowed a lawn was, I think I've told you before, my parents divorced when I was like 1, right?
Yeah.
So my mom gets remarried when I'm about 8 years old, and my stepfather, obsessed with the lawn. Like, to the point where we had, literally the nicest lawn in the neighborhood. He was meticulous.
Yeah.
One time, I went out to help him with the lawn. It lasted about 5 minutes, and I was told I didn't know what I was doing, and to get inside, I was ruining the lawn. After that, I never mowed the lawn again.
How old were you when he damaged you mentally?
It wasn't that I was damaged mentally. It's that he didn't trust me to do the lawn.
Well, how could he? Well, you didn't know anything about lawns. What did he have you do?
He did not trust me to do it. He had me mow it. I was doing it wrong. He didn't like the angle I was doing. I don't know what the hell I did wrong, but I got sent inside. And I'm like, all right. So then I developed a strategy. If I was ever asked to do outside yard work, I would mess it up, because then he would just tell me, go inside. You don't know what you're doing. Go inside. And then I never had to do it.
I got to be honest with you. This sounds like it's psychologically damaging.
This
is a bigger story than you think. Right. Does this sound like psychologically damaging?
A little bit.
Maybe I got PTSD from it.
It does kind of sound like you're too afraid to mess up your own lawn.
It's possible, because I did say last week, too, if it was up to me, we would just have concrete everywhere. I don't want lawn. Maybe.
Yeah, you've become anti-grass.
Really, there's no question. We carry childhood scars. And I think this is a childhood scar.
It's possible. I got yelled at a very young age about the lawn, and then I never did it again.
Now, I used to get the same thing, but that didn't stop me from doing it. My father was really tough on that lawn, too. He was just like that. So, but I still had to mow it.
Not me.
I mowed it and still got yelled at. I got yelled at once. Get this. The lawnmowers back then didn't have the bag. Right, so we shoot out the side.
Okay. Yeah.
Instead of mulching it, it would shoot it out the side. Right. So I went over a lawn, and a pebble shot out, and at the same moment, a car was going by on my street. The pebble hit this guy's door. It was a brand new car.
Oh boy!
Hit the door of the car. Now, that's an act of God.
Yeah, it's not your fault.
Like, I got yelled at that the rock hit the guy coming down the street because he pulled over and raised holy hell.
Oh yeah, that's unfortunate, because that's just unlucky for you.
Yeah, you think I carry childhood scars?
Yeah, we all do. We all do. Rays are still forming.
Yeah.
I have no idea what mine are, but I'm excited to find out in the next decade.
But really, if I was never allowed to mow the lawn, this is a true story. Like, if I was never allowed to mow the lawn, when I finally moved out, you moved to college, then I ended up moving to the city, and I had an apartment in the city. I didn't have my own house to mow a lawn until I was probably in my 30s, and at that point, it's like,
you're
I don't enjoy doing the
homeowner
lawn.
now.
I don't enjoy
now
it.
You're a homeowner.
I don't enjoy it.
You take pride in your grounds.
You need to become a grassman.
How much you pay for the lawn they do? The lawn?
Now it's going to get really bad when I admit this. My wife deals with the lawn service. I don't even know what we pay.
What?
I don't even know what we pay. She handles it. I know she's fired a couple people. I know that.
She's fired a couple people.
Yeah, she don't mess around, man.
Are you kidding me? What did they do?
I don't know. If she wasn't happy with the lawn service, man, they're out. My wife does not mess around.
Oh, my God.
This is bad. This is very, very bad.
All right.
I let her handle it.
Folks, the Phillies have lost 4 straight. And again, they played 6 straight games without Harper with no retribution. If that feels good to you, that's fine. They've reshaped their bullpen. Romano, Strom, Kirkering, Walker, they're the top 4. And then there was yesterday's game where Weston Wilson misjudges a fly ball and Trey Turner makes an error. And there are some grim defensive stats out there. Now, again, we're not sounding any kind of alarm. They're a good team. They'll probably make the playoffs. But we measure the Phillies now by the extent of whether they can actually win a championship. And right now, it is up to the GM to solder those the loose wires and get them together to the point where they're going to have a total flow, good electrical flow. See what I did?
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah,
but you brought up before the break this Rhys Hoskins thing, and he hits 2 home runs, and it's great. He has 6 RBIs. I still don't want to see them make a move for Rhys Hoskins.
All right,
I don't think that is the answer.
I don't want that either. But I do want to make a move in another capacity. Let's go to Tom in Woodwood. Tom, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. What's up, Tommy?
Hey, what's up, guys? I love the show. Mike, Bill, Ray. Mike, been listening to you since I was a young man, mowing lawns, landscaping with you and Steve. I haven't talked to you ever, but
thank you, buddy. I appreciate that.
Yep. So the Phils, I know I'm stating the obvious. We need a center fielder, left fielder, high-end reliever. How much are you guys willing to mortgage the future with our prospects?
I don't like that term, mortgage the future, because you always have a future. You can always recover. I probably would not give one of my top 2 prospects to get that particular guy. But I don't think you have to. We're talking about a relief pitcher who can throw 97. Guys like that they're always out there. So I don't think it's going to take a premier prospect to get it. Now, they know the Phillies are a little desperate, which means they may have to wait a little longer for it. But I'd say you have to look for that right now. You have to get this team together and get it as complete as early as you can, in my view.
So what do you want to get right now? The reliever?
Yes.
You're going out for it right now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I have to do that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not crazy about my outfield situation, but the relief pitching, like, if you're thinking that Taijuan Walker could be a high leverage guy, I think that's really foolish thinking.
Yeah. Do you think any of these minor leaguers can help us out this year?
Well, here's the only way it can help out. If Painter comes up, joins the rotation, and they have the temerity to drop Ranger Suarez into a left-handed relief role.
Okay.
I don't know if they're willing to do that. There's a lot of impediments to that, but that's probably the most logical thing they can do.
Yeah. The last point, Mike, you can't stand watching Turner at shortstop. That guy is brutal.
No, he's not. He's not been brutal this year. His numbers are not that bad this year. When you look at it, he made a bad error, and that exemplifies the fact that he in the past hasn't been as good. But he's not brutal.
He's been better this year, but you're also only talking about a 50-game sample size.
Yeah,
Last season, Mike, you look at the advanced metrics. I just pulled it up. He was 45th in Major League Baseball at the shortstop position.
But there's nothing you can do about that. You can do something about your relief. You can do something about your left field situation. You can't do anything about shortstop. What, are you going to make Edmundo Sosa the starting shortstop and have Turner play center field right now? Is that what your solution is?
There's another solution.
What is it?
You flip-flop him and Stott.
Stott's not a shortstop, Bill.
He's better than Turner.
No, he's not better than Turner. You haven't seen him play shortstop on a full-time basis for how many years? And he wasn't that good when he was a shortstop. 610-632-0975. Back after this.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Swept by the Brewers. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. The Phillies got swept this weekend by the Milwaukee Brewers. Now have lost 4 games in a row. Sunday was a 5-2 loss for defensive miscues and struggles with runners in scoring position. Doomed the Phils. The Phils have now been outscored 37-14 in their last 4 games and have fallen to second in the National League East. They get a day today to regroup before they head to Toronto for a 3-game series. Zach Wheeler gets to start Tuesday night against the Blue Jays to hopefully end this losing skid. Eagles OTAs continue this week with 3 practices, one of which will be open to the media. We assume that day is open to the media. We will have some press conferences live for you here on The Fanatic. Someone who will not be at OTAs is Bryce Huff, who's been traded to the San Francisco 49ers. Reportedly, that can be finalized now this week because we are post-June 1st, and it's reportedly that the team will be getting a mid-round draft pick back from the 49ers in that trade. The Union had a scoreless draw over the weekend against FC Dallas, still sitting in first in Major League Soccer's Eastern Conference. This update is brought to you by the New Jersey Division of Highway Traffic Safety. We all play a role in keeping roads safe. Watch for pedestrians, give 4 feet when passing, and slow down. Let's look out for each other. Safety is shared. Brought to you by the New Jersey Division of Highway Traffic Safety. I'm Ray Dunn on your home for the NBA Finals, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
We're talking talk some Eagles, not OTA action, but not Tanner McKee being a beast, but some interesting statistics on Howie Roseman trading guys that were predicted to be starters for them, and they moved on from them. You have not been that high on Howie Roseman winning many trades, but when you look at Bryce Huff is gone now, what they got from Bryce Huff might turn out by the track record might turn out to benefit the Eagles.
Yeah, here's where Howie Roseman is really good with trades, and here's where he struggles with trades. Getting rid of aging stars or players that are not performing, he's able to unload them and save money on the salary cap or pick up draft capital. Very good. Where he struggled has been his in-season trades to fix certain positions. You look at that history, it's never as good. You got Robert Quinn, Kevin Byard. The list goes on of him trying to make trades in season that don't always work. But unloading guys, getting rid of them when they've shown they can't play here or they're getting paid too much, he's been very successful.
All right, let's get back to the text board here. But by the way, what's the chat been saying this whole time, Bill?
Well, now they're just going nuts on what exactly do you do, Bill, when I was talking about how I don't do the lawn and all that stuff.
Oh, they're on you.
Yeah, they were getting
on
me.
you personally.
Yeah. Let me look to see. I'm trying to see what they've been talking about. They're kind of torn on the whole Reese Hoskins thing. Some people were saying he would be the answer, others are not. But the general consensus is, they got to fix this bullpen. I mean, I think everybody agrees with you on that one.
Okay. Text board. Right.
Yeah, we got Texter chiming in that Sleepy Rob trusts Weston Wilson against righties, but has no but does not trust Max Kepler against lefties. I don't understand it.
Yeah. What he did, I'm still scratching my head. I go, oh, well, Kepler's got a hit here. And he left Weston Wilson in there to hit against the righty reliever. And I'm going, what does he do? Does he, have a clairvoyance here about what Weston Wilson's going to do? He struck out of that at bat, right?
I believe he struck out, yeah. Right, Ray? I think he struck out Wilson in that. You notice his name is Weston Wilson now.
Oh, no more dub-dub?
Nah, you don't deserve the nickname, man.
No. Why were you so high on him in the first place?
Because you hated him. I mean, that was mostly the fun part of it.
Bill, just listen to Mike.
Yeah.
See,
that was mostly the fun part.
That's disingenuous to the people.
Yeah, mostly the fun part. Well, no, look, to be honest with you, part of it was that. But the other part was I was hopeful that he could be that right-handed bat that you were lacking. And when you looked at Wilson's numbers, when he was in AAA and then even in limited role last year, I thought there was the potential there. But what I've seen is I've seen enough now.
Many a slip from cup to lip.
Yeah, I've seen
AAA to the major leagues. Let's go to Jonah in Philly. Jonah, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Jonah, I can't believe you're going to advocate what Bill just said about this whole thing. Go ahead, Jonah.
What's up, guys? Happy to be on the show. I was actually just here with Friend Central, so really good to see you guys now be calling in.
There you go. Nice. Thanks for calling in.
Yeah, I think Trey Turner, he's got to go to second. There's no way that you can deal with this defense at short, especially when Stott is a great defensive player. I don't care how much you're paying Trey Turner. You have to move him to second base. Stott's the better.
Hold on a second, Jonah. How is Bryson Stott a great shortstop?
He can play defense better than Trey Turner.
How?
That's all I know.
What frame of reference do you have that he can play shortstop like he plays second base?
He played shortstop in the World Series run. He wasn't horrible.
Yeah, in 2022, Jonah, he played 83 games at shortstop in the regular season and 16 in the postseason.
And he wasn't that great.
He's better than Trey.
He doesn't have a shortstop's arm, really.
I'm with you, Jonah.
Yeah, first of all, Jonah, you can't do that to a guy like Trey Turner. That would be a demotion that would be embarrassing.
I think Jonah's gone.
Jonah's gone? I hear him.
Yeah, he's cutting in and out.
Yeah.
How about Jonah comes and gets the tour and then calls in?
Impressive.
Yeah.
You can't do that to Trey Turner and say, Trey, we're going to move you to second base for Bryson Stott. First of all, you don't know if Bryson Stott can play that position. Second of all, you can't humiliate an all-star player like that. What's wrong with you?
At this point,
you can't do. That's not something you can do at a major league level.
Look, I know that he has worked on his fielding, and we gave you the stats about how it's been better this year. If this continues, I don't care about humiliating him. You got to win a World Series.
You're making yourself worse at two positions. You don't know that Turner can play second base. That's going to be an adjustment. In mid-season, you're going to have him adjust to be a second baseman, and then you're going to have Stott be a major league shortstop? What's wrong with you?
You play second base in your men's league. How hard could it be, right? Mike's the second baseman on the men's league team, for God's sake.
You can't take a shortstop, flip him to second base. There's a completely different dynamic how you turn double plays, how you go in the hole. You're not used to it. The ball comes off differently at second base. You can't just flip positions. You got to understand the game, Bill.
No, I agree with you. Now it's probably difficult. This offseason, that maybe should have been a discussion that they had of flip-flopping Stott and Turner in the middle infield. That should have been a discussion in the offseason because, I know Turner's worked on it. He was one of the worst shortstops in all of Major League Baseball last year with every advanced metric you look at when it comes to fielding. That should have been a discussion in the offseason. You're right. Now it's humiliating. In the offseason, it wouldn't have been.
First of all, you could be a worse second baseman than a shortstop. Shortstop, the ball comes to you in a certain way. It comes to you straight. And you rarely have to go deep into the hole to use your backhand. When you're a second baseman, you got to use your backhand constantly. Balls up the middle. There's fewer balls that you have to go to your left on than there are to your right.
Trey's issue, though, isn't necessarily going to the backhand. It's the routine plays.
I get it. He muffed a play on Sunday.
But this is on the heels of him being terrible last year.
But he hasn't been terrible this year. So you can't leap and go, okay, he made a big error in the game. He can't play shortstop. Now you're going to move him to second base. It's a complete overreaction.
No, I'm with you. You can't do it now. I agree with you. You can't do it in the middle of the season like this, but maybe it's something they should have talked about in the offseason. But as we look forward, you got to live with Trey.
As a shortstop. You can't pay a guy as a shortstop and all of a sudden make him a second baseman. Second baseman the price for a second baseman is not as extensive.
Taijuan Walker gets paid like a starting pitcher. He's in the bullpen now.
No, but they have no other choice. They have a choice here. You can't weaken two positions.
I don't know. Ray, you weighing in on this conversation?
Yeah, because while you guys were going back and forth with that, I went and looked at just Bryson Stott as a shortstop in 2022 and what it looks like. And if you go advanced numbers on that one, it's not pretty.
Where was he?
Low on a lot of the different metrics that you would look at.
Lower than 45th?
He doesn't have a lot of range. As a second baseman, he does. As a shortstop, he doesn't.
And to that point, I think it was 7 errors for him in 83 games as a shortstop in 2022. Like, your best option at shortstop right now, when you look at that team, is not an ideal one, whichever one you want to slice it. And when you go to Mike's point about, are you going to embarrass Trey with this one? This probably, and like you said, Bill, this is probably an offseason conversation that either should have been had or was had and was clearly not received well by Trey Turner, and he remained at shortstop.
Yeah, I don't think they even broached it. I really don't. No, I don't think that they have ever looked at Bryson Stott as a major league shortstop. I really don't. I think he played shortstop because they didn't have anybody else at that time. I think they look at him as he is a second baseman. That's what he is.
Yeah, I'm looking at Stott in 2022 at short, fielding run value, which is an advanced metric I like. He was a -1. In 2024, Turner finished the year at a -2. So neither one of them was that great. Like, to put that into perspective, like this season, your top shortstops are like Nick Allen's a +8, Bobby Witt Jr. is a +6. So neither one of them, I guess, is that great of a shortstop in the field when you look at the numbers. Turner this year has been a +2, so it's been better than the -2 he was last year.
There you go. There you go, Bill.
Yeah, you got to live with it.
See? He made a big error, and everybody blows it up. He stinks. Yeah, it's an error, okay? 610-632-0975.
Listen to Mike. Like, you've never made a mistake? That's what you sound like right now.
I'm saying that you're embellishing now how bad he is as a shortstop because of one play yesterday.
It's last year, too.
On the other side, we'll look at these Eagles that Howie Roseman has peddled for one reason or another, and the return he got. It's the Mike Missanelli Show on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Connor Thomas.
What this is. $11:41, Mike Missanelli Show coming up at noon. The news at noon, and I think the news at noon has to be touched on inside the NBA. Right? Am I right? You got that as one of your features inside the NBA.
I don't have their emotional goodbye, but I have some concerns about it.
So you do. Gone forever.
Until it's back next year on ESPN.
Yeah, but there's a lot of people that are looking at this like as ESPN's going to ruin it because they're not going to give that panel the leeway to go off. Like their commercials are too structured.
Yeah, that and also the ESPN programming structure just in general. How many post games are we really going to get from them? There's a lot there that I want to dive into.
All right, well, we'll have to dive into that. By the way, did you see where the Roots picnic was this weekend? Did you read about there was all kinds of problems with access and such because of the rain and the gates not being opened, and some people that said it was going to open at 2:00, it didn't open until like 7, and then the act didn't come on at like 11:30. Did you read all that?
Yeah, I did, and I also saw some highlights of Cooper DeJean playing in their basketball tournament.
Yes, he dominated apparently.
My question is, why are the Eagles letting this guy play in a basketball tournament in the offseason?
Let me ask you a question about Cooper DeJean. You getting a little too busy?
I've expressed that concern before, and I don't want to sound like a hater here because I want the guy to be able to take advantage of his fame.
Getting a little too carried away.
But a second-year player from Iowa is getting a lot of publicity. He's doing a lot of things, man.
That comes back to bite you.
Well, hopefully he can handle it, but it is a lot. Now he's got the podcast he's doing. I mean, this guy's everywhere.
I remember when Cole Hamels had that big year, and then he did the off-season, all this off-season stuff, and he came back, and he had arm problems and the whole bit.
Well, like even when the Eagles won the Super Bowl, and I said this when it happened, like I didn't love that Doug Peterson's writing a book. Doug Peterson's doing a little bit of a speaking tour and all that.
I didn't like that stuff.
And I remember Ray's exact words were, when Nick Sirianni writes his book this offseason, I don't want you to be angry about it. I haven't seen my man Nick write a book, Ray.
I think Ray is unfettered about Cooper DeJean, right, Ray? You don't just not affecting you that he's doing too much?
No, it's not affecting me at all. He's on a run for the ages. You got a pick 6 of the Super Bowl of Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, he is, Ray. And I agree. But the issue is, and I'm not one of these guys who's like, you got to be in the gym 24/7. I know they have a life. But Cooper DeJean has taken on a lot this offseason as just finished his rookie year out of Iowa. And now he comes to Philadelphia, and you're talking podcast, you're talking Kentucky Derby. I've seen him on almost every single national show. Now he's playing basketball at the Roots picnic. Like, I mean, this kid is doing everything. I just hope he can handle it. And if he can, I mean, he's going to be a mega star in this town.
I guess the biggest difference for me is what are you seeing the difference as a guy like DeJean who's in the spotlight consistently and a guy who's spending, a month in Cabo and working out ways at Cabo, or a month in the Midwest hunting because that's what he likes to do. DeJean likes to be places. He likes to be out and about. He likes to be in the public
I don't know
eye.
if he likes to be out and about. I think he's been carried away with the out and about since he's now in a big city. I think he's a country kid. All of a sudden, that the world has opened up to him, and maybe I don't know. I may do it a little differently if I was Coop.
Oh, I wouldn't be doing it any differently if I was Coop.
Ray would be on the world tour.
I probably would be.
Did you see on his podcast, though, he asked Reed Blankenship, he said, what's the weirdest DM you ever got? And then Reed couldn't think of one, and then Cooper DeJean tells him a story about how a girl put together an entire PowerPoint presentation and sent it to his media team on why he should date her. So, like, these are the types of things you just worry about with a young kid. I mean, Cooper's young.
Does he still have a steady girlfriend from Iowa? Or is he pretty much...
I don't believe that's the case. The rumor is that's over. I can't tell you if that's true
poor
or not.
Girl, see, that poor girl was shrapnel. That's what she was.
Cooper DeJean turned 22 on Super Bowl Sunday.
Yeah.
He's still... That's my only concern is you want him to be able to take advantage of his fame. I just don't want him to take on too much. That's all.
I'm just saying, like, you're worried about DeJean and, like, all the different opportunities. You talk about that podcast, like, everything he's doing. I think there's a lot of guys who are doing plenty of things. We just don't see it behind the scenes. And also, the weirdest DM thing was definitely a lie. That's definitely not the weirdest DM he's got.
Oh, yeah, because...
100%, that was just his best story that he could share on that podcast.
We've all gotten weird DMs. You know the DMs I love?
Oh, have we?
Well, we all
Should we dive down that path?
You all get the fake ones, right?
Like, that's not a weird DM. That's just a bot.
This is the new one. Yeah, this is the new one that I'm getting a lot, and I laugh all the time. It's like, I'm messaging you from a secret account because my friend really likes you and would be mad if I... You seen this one before?
No, and those are like one in the morning
who falls
ones,
for
too.
this crap?
It's like the one in the morning thing. It's like, who is DMing me right now? It's like, oh, okay.
Wait,
yeah.
Mike's like, wait a second, that wasn't real?
Oh, come on.
That's not right.
I've been talking to her for weeks.
All right. By the way, the Roots picnic used to be the Greek Freak. Remember the Greek Freak?
No. So about Giannis?
So you're too white. You're too white.
Giannis was the Greek Freak.
You're too white to understand what the Greek Freak was. That used to be.
I do remember the Greek Freak. You're talking about the black fraternities.
Black fraternities.
Yes, I do remember that.
There, and then they somehow shut it down. But the black fraternities are Alpha Phi Alpha, Kappa Alpha Psi, and Omega Psi Phi.
The black fraternities.
Omega Psi Phi is the brand.
The black sororities. They take those seriously.
Malcolm Jenkins. had the Omega sign.
Yeah, he did. He had the brand.
He had the brand.
Not to be confused with the Sherry Papini Exodus brand that she put on her back.
No. Yeah, so you're too white to hang in this fraternity. Penn State, I used to hang out. Really?
I don't know. I think if we were looking at who's got more cool in them.
Did they have Omega Sci-Fi at Gettysburg?
I think we had one black fraternity. I think because I remember
how many times were you invited?
Well, I remember we didn't have one when I was there, and one of my buddies was trying to start it. He was the one trying to start the black fraternity at the school, and I think he was successful by the time we left. But he was trying to bring one to Gettysburg.
All right. Let's go into this Eagle thing quickly as we go into a break, and then we'll come back out with it. The last person to be moved on, 2024, Hassan Reddick. Now, it's not as so much as what they got from these trades. It's what those people did once they were moved on.
Yeah.
And Hassan Reddick has hit a wall.
Yeah, I mean, Reddick may have a bounce-back year with Tampa, but at the time, I think the general consensus was that was a terrible trade. Why would you get rid of him? Turned out to be a beautiful move by Roseman.
2022, the infamous Jalen Reagor.
Oh, my goodness. Is he still in the league?
To
I think he is.
Minnesota, had 8 catches when he went to
I think Reagor's is on the Chargers now. Isn't he still in the league somehow?
Probably still in the league. 2021, all right, Zach Ertz. Had 130 catches in 3 seasons with the Cardinals.
And had a good year for Washington.
And he did.
But that was more about opening up the door for Dallas Goedert.
Oh, here's the ultimate. 2021. Carson Wentz. Oh, man. After they moved him, he dropped like a stone.
And they got a first-rounder for him. Have you ever looked at, what that butterfly effect was? Like, trading Carson Wentz and all the players they were able to get because of it?
Uh-huh.
It was a huge trade for him.
2018? Oh, this name slid under the radar for me. Michael Bennett, who had 9 sacks for the Eagles, and they said, no, we know the limitations of my man. And they moved him on for a 5th-round pick. He played 6 games with the Patriots after they moved him.
And he got suspended for conduct.
Conduct detrimental to the team.
Yeah, so that was a good move.
2018, Torrey Smith.
Oh, our buddy
Torrey. They traded him for Darryl Worley. Torrey hit the wall after he was traded. 17 receptions for 190 yards. So they knew when to move on from Torrey Smith. Jordan Matthews in 2017. 9. He played 1 season in Buffalo. Well, 25 catches. Sam Bradford.
Sammy Sleeves.
In 2016.
They got a first-rounder for Sammy Sleeves.
Oh, my God, it's hard to believe.
That was when Bridgewater tore his ACL, right?
Yeah.
Camp?
Although he did with the Vikings, he had a league record 71.6% of his passes because he was the check down master. He never threw the ball downfield. And in 2016, this is a golden one. Kiko Alonso and Byron Maxwell. Kiko played well for the Dolphins.
Yeah, but what that was about, because I think the same year they got rid of DeMarco Murray, too. That was when Roseman took things over again from Chip Kelly and said, I'm undoing everything that idiot did.
Yep.
Got rid of Alonso, Maxwell, got rid of Murray.
Yeah.
Started cleaning house.
The track record of those moving guys, though, they didn't hurt them. 610-632-0975. News and New coming your way in 10 minutes. Back after this.
Fanatic Sports Update.
What by the Brewers? I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update, and it's brought to you by Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Download the app today. The Phillies got swept this weekend by the Milwaukee Brewers. Now have lost 4 games in a row. Sunday was a 5-2 loss for defensive miscues and struggles with runners in scoring position. Doomed the Phils in the game. They've now been outscored 37-14 in their last 4 games, falling to second place in the National League East. They get a day to regroup today before they head to Toronto for a 3-game set. Zach Wheeler get the ball Tuesday night, trying to end the losing skid as they play the Blue Jays. Eagles OTAs continue this week with 3 practices, one of which will be open to the media. We assume we'll hear from members of Eagles brass at that time. Someone who will not be at OTA is Bryce Huff, who's reportedly on the move to the San Francisco 49ers. That trade can officially be completed this week because we have passed the June 1st threshold of the offseason. He's reportedly being traded for a mid-round draft pick. And the Union had a scoreless draw versus FC Dallas over the weekend, still in first place in the Eastern Conference in Major League Soccer. This update is brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. The Mercedes-Benz Dream Days are back with offers on vehicles like 2025 E-Class, CLE Coupe, C-Class, and EQE sedan. Hurry in now through July 31st. Learn more at mbusa.com/dream. I'm Ray Dunn on your home for NBA Finals action, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Mike Missanelli Show, 97.5 The Fanatic. We're consumed by the Phillies. And listen, things aren't even that bad. You know? When you look at it, like we seem to be like sounding a major alarm here. But the fact of the matter is, the Phillies are still in pretty good shape, don't you think?
It depends on what your definition of good shape is.
They're standing-wise.
Yeah, because I think we all would agree they're a good baseball team. And we've been talking a lot about October. What about the bullpen in October? I think we're all assuming they're going to make the postseason, and I think that is a fair assumption. They're going to make the postseason. But when you have seasons like the Phillies have had over the last 3, what we really care about is you got to get to the World Series. So we're looking for perfection.
They're the lead wild card team right now.
And they're only a game back of the Mets in the NL East. But we're looking at what could prevent this team from getting back to the World Series. And that's why we're being hypercritical, because it's not going to be a successful season just to win the NL East. It's not going to be a successful season just to win the wild card series. This team's got to go to the World Series for this to be a successful season. So we're going to be hypercritical. But they're a good baseball team.
Right now, the leaders, the bye leaders, are the Mets and the Cubs.
Not even the Dodgers, huh?
No. Dodgers are a game back. The Dodgers are the 3 seed right now.
Speaking of the Dodgers, I never noticed this. You probably
Dodgers and Phillies. Would the Dodgers play the Phillies?
No. They would play wild. Oh, yeah, because there would be a wild card. You're saying they wouldn't win the East. So the Phillies would be the top wild card.
The Dodgers would be the
non-bye
team division winner.
Wow, if the season ended today...
The Phillies would be the 4th seed.
Yeah, no, the Dodgers wouldn't play the Phillies.
Dodgers would play the 6th seed.
They would probably play the
Phillies
Padres.
would play the 5th seed right now, which would be either the Padres or the Giants.
Yeah. Speaking of the Dodgers, something I didn't notice until it just got pointed out to me. You may have known this, but did you know that Shohei Ohtani says hello to the ump every single at-bat?
Does he?
Did you see that? Circulating?
Oh, that's nice.
Goes out of his way, waits for the umpire to acknowledge him so he could say hello.
They're polite. The Japanese, a little bow. They give him a little bow.
You think it helps him get calls?
Certainly. Listen, those guys are human.
Were you always nice to the refs when you played sports?
I hated them. I hated umpires with a passion, man. I was nasty to umpires. And it didn't help me.
No, I was always very...
No, I remember specifically them punching me out when I complained about like a strike one or whatever. You know, I wasn't getting benefited. I never learned that. I had too much of a red ass.
Yeah, see, I wouldn't expect that, Ray. Would you have expected Mike to complain to refs?
I did not have him as a guy that would get frustrated with.
You know, I would step out. I go, come on, man, that's low.
I would always drop sir. So he's very respectful.
Oh, you were a sir guy?
I'm on the line, sir.
That football thing. Oh, before you start to play.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well,
but I always would hit him with sir, you know.
Well, you were taught
no
well.
What.
Yeah, because you went to a private school.
In high school,
you were taught well.
I went to public school.
I wasn't taught the manners you were taught.
I would make jokes if I was around them, like first base ump. If I was playing first base, a little joke to them. Little joke to the third base ump.
I would do that to the base umps, but at the plate, listen, that's a stressful situation, man. You're trying to gain any advantage you can, and the guy puts you in the hole, and you go, "Come on, man, put me in a hole now. I'm 0-1." You know.
Yeah, I could see that being.
I was more frustrated with my abilities than I was with anyone else's abilities around me. So
yeah, they call a bad second strike. That means you had to swing at kind of anything and you pop out. And I used to go, "That's on you.
That's on you.
That's on you, Blue."
I kind of always wanted to be a home plate ump though, just to do the strikeout call.
610-632-0975.
You'd be a terrible home plate ump.
You're listening to the Mike Missanelli Show on 97.5 The Fanatic, WPEN HD1, Burlington, Philadelphia, a Beasley Media Group station, broadcasting from the Comcast Business Studios, powering possibilities at noontime. Enjoy your lunch, everybody, over a little something we call the News at Noon.
There's a whole lot going on in this world. It's time to catch up. Here's the News at Noon. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the News at Noon. The Memorial Tournament was this weekend at Muirfield Village in Dublin, Ohio. Of course, I've actually played many times. It's the most difficult course that I have ever played in my life. But Scotty Scheffler, he makes it look easy. Ray, start the News at Noon.
Yeah, I didn't ever think we would get Jack Nicklaus in the News at Noon, but hey, we're going to make it happen.
Old Jack.
It's great when you can get someone just absolutely tearing into the sport they used to play, and that's pretty much what he did. He was sitting right next to Scotty Scheffler, celebrating the win that Scheffler had, and said pretty much there's nobody in his league. Nobody can compete with him, and Scheffler knew it that day, and so did Jack Nicklaus, so I'll be very clear to tell you that.
Looking at the leaderboard today, he didn't have, Ben Griffin's a nice player. Step Doc is a nice player. Nick Taylor's a nice player. Those are all the guys that were there basically coming down the stretch. But he knows that those guys, are not in his league. Now, if he'd have had, I don't know who else it might have been, but if somebody else at the top, or Xander or somebody like that would have been there, he might have said, well, that might be a little tougher. I might have to do something. He didn't have to. And I think I always I just asked Scotty if he watched the leaderboard. He says, yeah, I do. I said, well, I did too. I always watched the leaderboard and found out what my competition was. And I always felt like what level I had to play to fight that competition off. And sometimes you didn't have to fight it off because you knew they'd self-destruct.
Thanks for coming to my tournament. You all suck.
Wow.
Well, how about that? Jack is, he sometimes goes a little too far, but he's not wrong, as Bill would say. He's not wrong.
He's not wrong.
He's not wrong. Scotty Scheffler's on a different planet. That dude's an animal, man. I don't get it. Like how he just dominates the competition right now.
He is, man. And like I'm not putting him on Tiger's level yet, but the last couple of years, he's on a Tiger trajectory with how much he's been dominating. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it really is.
And he's got such an ugly swing with the way his feet shuffle. They don't teach you to swing that way.
No, he's not. He's not as I don't know. He's not as popular as he should be. He's dominant, but he's not. He doesn't give off a popular vibe, does he?
Well, you've said this before about the PGA Tour. It's like there's not many lovable characters on it.
No. I think Jack was taking a shot at Rory there for skipping his tournament, wasn't he?
Seemed like it.
Yeah, that could be what it was.
He's taking a little shot at him. Jack's like that. He's a little snippy. He can get into his little shots.
It's just a little ricochet at, like, here's all the nice people that showed up to my tournament. You all are trash. Thank God Scotty's here because none of you are close to him.
Yeah.
But yeah, you could be right.
That course is a monster, though. He loves it. He loves making it difficult for people. I know Scotty went in with 10 under. But he was saying that his course is grueling.
You talk about Rory, though. Aren't you a little surprised? I thought after he won the Masters, we were going to see an epic run from Rory.
Yeah, no, I don't believe in Rory being an epic run guy. Good player, great player, but not a guy that's going to dominate. Like Scheffler's dominating right now. Nobody can keep up with him.
Well, as long as he doesn't get arrested again, he's good to go.
What's next?
All right, let's take you to the end of the Eastern Conference Finals. And I would play taps here for the next season, but I'm not going to. I moved past it, all right? They're done. It's over. We knew it was going to be over for a while. Miles Turner, though, had a little bit to say about how you build in today's NBA and what power this Pacers team has and why they're winning. Take a listen.
I think it's a new blueprint for the league, man. I just, I think the years of the super teams and, stacking is just not... It's not as effective as it once was, you know what I mean? This NBA, since I've been in the league, this NBA is very trendy, it just shifts. But the new trend now is just kind of what we're doing. OKC does the same thing, young guys get out and run, defend, and, use the power of friendship is how they call it.
Have we considered that they're just all not good enough friends on the 76ers to get over the hump? The power of friendship, Miles Turner says.
I think that's important. I think when you develop chemistry, you like a person. But I don't know. I don't know if anybody likes Josh Hart and look at the way they play. Yeah,
I don't know how much of it is though, like friendship, but all being kind of united in the same goal. Like when you look at the Sixers, you bring in Paul George, you bring in some of these other pieces, and then Joel Embiid comes into camp and he's not ready. And then Paul George, like you can't get any sort of cohesiveness because does the big man even want to play? Does Paul George even care? Like that, I think, can affect the team.
Yeah, I think the Sixers are a bunch of players you just throw and stick on a wall.
Now, were you surprised talking about the Eastern Conference Finals?
Yeah,
because Tyrese Halliburton was a little surprised that Siakam got the conference MVP.
Is he a little jelly?
Well, there's a video circulating where they go to announce it, and it looks like Halliburton is already starting to walk, and then he's got to stop. I would have thought it would have been Halliburton. Siakam had a great series, but...
Siakam was more of a consistent scorer than Halliburton. But Halliburton orchestrates everything. What else you got? Inside the NBA, here we go.
Yes, with the end of that Eastern Conference Finals, we get the end of Inside the NBA on TNT. Some form of it's going to ESPN. What has followed that end of the Inside the NBA on TNT is all the questions of what is going to happen when it does get to ESPN. Bill Simmons does not think that things are going to work out for this iteration of Inside the NBA.
I think they're going to the show up. I don't think they unless they completely change how they do commercials, the show is going to be different and people are going to be pissed, and Barkley and those guys are going to be pissed, and I think it's going to go badly. The only way it doesn't go badly is if they do the commercials and they give them the lengthy segments that you need to have that show work. They're going to have to change how they do it. They just paid so much for the NBA that if they don't do that and they do these same short, terrible segments that you're about to see in the finals, where it's like a 1.5 minute halftime and it's like a 20-minute pregame, if they do that, they're going to the show up and everybody's going to be mad.
He might have a point. I don't know. We'll have to see. But is Ernie part of the show? Because I mean, he's got a TNT contract. Is he allowed to do the show?
So I think it's going to be Warner produced through ESPN. I'm confused how he's going with them, but I believe all four are going with them.
Okay.
But I'm also confused. The commercial's a problem because those long segments, he's right, that's where you get most of the personality. They also, on ESPN, have had Scott Van Pelt anchor pretty much every big post-game coverage of it.
Yeah.
And they have a massive investment in that show.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they moved the studio down there for him. So is that going to take away from Scott Van Pelt's time? And also, are they going to cut into some of their other programming? Like, they pay for a lot of live sports. TNT, what are you really cutting off? We're going to get the Practical Jokers for the 37th time? Like, you're not really cutting anything out if you keep a long post-game show. Like, so I legitimately, I've spent the weekend now trying to figure out how they fit into the program at ESPN, and I don't get it. I really don't get it.
It's actually a good, yeah. I didn't realize, Practical Jokers on TNT.
Yeah, but Ray's right. You could cut into all those shows.
You could cut it. What? It's another Star Wars marathon tonight. Like, all right.
But
Return of the Jedi can be pushed 30 minutes. You can't really push some other live program that you paid for.
You're right.
But if you're bringing this show over, I think you're going to still
have to accommodate it.
Yeah, you're going to have to accommodate it. Like SVP.
Yeah, because Barkley will light your ass up publicly. He doesn't care.
But they already kind of have, which I think that, like, we talk about this, like, all going away thing. I've been very interested in why they're doing such a going away tour for something that's not necessarily totally going away. Like, they probably realize their format's going to change. And I know Barkley himself, I think he said it with you. Like, he's around to do it for another year to see how it goes.
Yeah, he'll stay. He's a lot.
I'm just saying.
He's a lot of hot air, Charles. Yeah. And when push comes to shove, he likes that check at the end because he likes to spend a lot of it on the gambling tables. 610-632-0975. On the other side, we analyze whether there will be any eyeballs at all on the NBA Finals. I got a list of the largest markets and the smallest markets, and this ain't Boffo. 610-632-0975. Mike Missanelli Show continues.
ESPN's Adam Schefter.
I'm not saying that they're
12:14, Mike Missanelli Show. Yeah, as it stands right now, the Phillies will play either the Padres or the Giants in the playoffs.
We got a while till then, though.
Mets and Cubs get the bye. Cubs? Come on. Are the Cubs going to get the bye? They're playing well, I guess. Maybe.
Long season, man.
All right. NBA Finals. You interested?
I am, because I want to see OKC win it. I want to see SGA. I'm a big fan of SGA. It's hard not to be.
Yeah.
But you're right. When you look at who's in this finals, it does signal one thing to me, though. It's not fixed, because there's no way the NBA wanted this as their final.
What's the line on OKC winning? What are they?
They got to be big favorites.
It's just. I mean, there's no way that the Pacers can win this series.
I'm pulling it up now.
They're going to win it in.
Think so?
I don't think they'll
sweep. I think 5.
Halliburton has a 30-point game in it. But
all right. Well, if you had a guess, what do you think the money line is for OKC to win it?
Minus 380.
Higher.
Is it really?
Way higher. See. Almost double. Minus 750.
See, that's not even worth it.
The Pacers are a plus 530.
You got to bet this. If you're going to bet it, you got to bet game by game.
Yeah, you're probably right.
What's game 1 line?
9.
9?
OKC.
I might take the Pacers 9. There has been a layoff for OKC. But you know the markets here. What is OKC? What do you think? What's the market size?
I'm going to say in the 40s.
47.
Wow.
Indianapolis.
A little bit bigger. High 20s.
25.
Whoa.
Hey,
pretty good by me.
Pretty good.
He wasn't even in
I don't know my geography, but I know my populace.
I'm going to go over some of the markets that are larger than OKC. You ready? Harrisburg, Lancaster.
Are they really?
Harrisburg, Lancaster is a bigger market than Oklahoma City.
Oh, my God.
Grand Rapids, Kalamazoo, Michigan is a bigger market. Greensboro, High Point, Winston-Salem is a higher market. Oh, God, seriously?
That's awesome. That's awesome for the NBA.
Greenville, Spartanburg, Asheville, Anderson, North Carolina.
Yeah, they would have loved for the Knicks to win that series.
West Palm Beach.
West Palm Beach is bigger than Indianapolis?
Oklahoma City.
Oh, OKC.
It's the OKC. You want to know what's bigger than Indianapolis? Raleigh-Durham. Portland, Oregon. St. Louis, Missouri. Cleveland, Akron.
Yeah, this is the NBA's worst nightmare.
This is what guys like Ray will do now. They have to, like, if they get jobs,
they got to look at this.
You got to look at the market, right?
I was going to say, I legitimately was guessing the market size based on all of the research they have you do when you're going out of school at this point, because the on-air person that ends up in a top 50 market out of college is the anomaly, is wild.
Yeah.
We're mostly looking at, for me, I was looking at like 100.
Yeah.
Somewhere 125. I was like, I'm going to end up in,
yeah,
Alaska or something like that.
Yeah. Would you go to Alaska?
Well, I ended up here, so I'm glad I didn't have to worry about that. The answer is probably
the question is, would you have gone to Alaska?
No.
No.
See, I thought that would have been a cool experience, Alaska.
There's one thing I would have went to Alaska for, and that's the summer collegiate baseball out there, because apparently it's a really cool experience.
Really?
Other than that,
how many years do you think you have to spend at a small market before you get jacked to a bigger market?
Well, they tell you to sign the 2-year contract.
Yeah.
At the end of the 2 year, you've hopefully done enough to get yourself to the mid-sized market. And then you hope you get like a 2 or 3 year contract there. And then you hope you're back by the time you get in your 30s. But that doesn't really happen like that.
That's a grind, man.
But we have a few on-air personalities now in the city. Like Taryn Hatcher went out to Hawaii, right, for a little while.
I want to be very clear. Had I been offered a job in Hawaii, very different story than Alaska.
Like, that's pretty cool. Go to Hawaii for a couple years and then come home.
Did she go to Hawaii?
Yeah, that's where she started, right? Hawaii.
I think so. Yeah.
And I think Ashlyn Sullivan, who's fairly new, she was in Jacksonville.
The market in Jacksonville is 41.
So if that's out of college, top 50 is pretty impressive.
That is.
You get top 50 out of college.
Yeah. What's Hawaii?
That's insane.
Hawaii. I guess would it be Honolulu?
Let's see. Hawaii way down on the list, man. Honolulu is 69.
I have a lot of friends from Temple that are still out in the Spokane and those are producers. Like they got Portland, Maine. They've kind of went all over it. The on-air people ended up just about anywhere.
Yeah, it's tough, man.
Yeah, it is a tough grind for people who want to make it as a TV, TV anchor.
Yeah, that's not.
All right, Ray. What's the text board saying right now?
It's a great question. What text board?
Yeah, but well, he's looking up text. What makes this even worse, though, for the NBA is not only these small markets, but when you asked earlier, what's OKC favored? You're not even getting a good series.
No,
you
actually are though. Here's the thing, both these teams play really good basketball, and nobody cares about it.
They do, but OKC is just so much better that I'm not expecting a close series. If this was that brand of basketball, even if they were small markets, but we were talking about a 6 or 7 game battle, people may tune in for it. But no one's expecting OKC to lose this series.
No,
it doesn't make it interesting.
No, you're right. No, people won't tune into this. I predict this will be the lowest rated series ever. Well, maybe not ever, but pretty low. 610-632-0975. Love to talk to you about the Phillies and what their situation is right now. The Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Swept by the Brewers. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. The Phillies were swept over the weekend by the Milwaukee Brewers. They've now lost 4 games in a row. Sunday's loss was a 5-2 loss to the Brewers. Defensive miscues, not getting runners in when they were in scoring position. All problems for the Phillies in that one. But the bigger problem for the last 4 games, outscored 37-14, including that 3-game sweep by the Brewers. The Phillies have now dropped to second place in the National League East. They'll have a chance to bounce back coming on Tuesday as they have day off today. They're headed up to Toronto for a 3-game set with the Blue Jays. Zach Wheeler getting the ball Tuesday night to try and end the losing skid for the Phillies. The Eagles begin their continue their OTA workouts this week. They have 3 more practices this week. We assume we'll hear from them one of those days because they will be open to the media for one of those practices. Someone who won't be there, Bryce Huff. He's reportedly been traded to the San Francisco 49ers, a trade that can be finalized this week because we passed that June 1st threshold of the offseason. So he's not around anymore. They're expected to get a mid-round pick in that trade. And the Union Union Tide scored the straw for them over the weekend. They remain in first place in the Eastern Conference in Major League Soccer. This update's brought to you by Macy's Backstage. What we find at Macy's Backstage, how about essential warm weather styles, $30 and under, like dresses, shoes, bags, men's and kids looks. Find the latest trends, new arrivals at great prices at Macy's Backstage near you. I'm Ray Dunn, your home for the NBA Finals, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Sometimes you get food delivered. You come back. You're in the end of Chew.
Would you go with a little pepperoni pizza?
That pizza that's from Tony Roney's brought some stuff over today. So thank you to those guys. I've never seen as much pepperoni on a pizza in my life.
Did you? It looked delicious. I'm mad that I just had the Kind bar.
Are you a pepperoni man?
I like pepperoni.
You're mad that you had just had the Kind bar.
Yeah, because now I'm not hungry.
You can't squeeze in a cheesesteak bite or a pizza bite. Like, come on, man.
Look, Ray's giving me a thumb down. He can't even talk because he's got a mouthful of pizza.
Right. I think
No, I got the cheesesteak.
How is it? Any good?
Fantastic. Loving it. Thank you.
But when you do eat pizza, I know it's loaded with carbs. Yeah.
I'm not as strict of an eater as you make me out to be.
Stop it.
I used to be.
What do you like on your pizza?
Honestly, plain. I'm more of a plain pizza guy.
What?
Yeah, I'm more of a plain pizza. Yeah.
What's wrong?
I like plain, but if I'm going to go toppings, I don't mind a little pepperoni and green peppers.
Oh my God, green pepper.
Yeah. It's a nice. You ever do pepperoni and green peppers on a pizza?
No, I don't do green pepper at all on a pizza.
Oh,
I don't want
stuff.
pepper on my pizza.
That's good, dude.
I'm a sausage mushroom man.
I can't do mushrooms, man. Can't do it.
You don't know how to eat.
Nah, can't do the mushrooms.
Completely don't know how to eat. You got into this health craze and you don't know how to eat.
But I think sometimes you mess up the pizza.
Plain.
Yeah, plain. Like going down the shore.
Who orders plain pizza anymore?
All right, let me ask you this. You grew up in Wildwood. You were a Max Pizza guy. Mm-hmm. You don't put toppings on that.
That's different. That's different. That's a boardwalk pizza that is meant to be with no toppings.
Okay. So I feel similarly about certain
When you
pizzas.
order a certain pizza, you order it plain? Like when you go to your local pizza place, wherever it is?
Yeah, I like plain. Is that bad?
You're a weirdo, man.
Do you know what a pilot's favorite pizza is?
Oh, is this a joke? Get the symbol ready. What?
Ray, pilot's favorite pizza?
A plain.
Plain. But I'm
good dad joke.
I don't think that's a violation to prefer plain pizza. I think that a lot of people would agree with that.
No, not a lot of people would agree with it. No one would agree with it. Now, you can eat plain pizza. Like there's no such thing as a bad pizza, no matter in what form it is. But nobody orders plain.
I think you're wrong on this, dude. If you have a really good pizza, you don't ruin it with toppings.
You're an idiot.
Ray, are you in agreement with me on this?
I like a good plain pizza. I'll be honest with you.
Well, Ray is a plain guy.
What are you going to tell me next? Do you like Hawaiian pizza? You put pineapple on your pizza?
No.
I can get down with that too.
Come on, Ray. Now that's a violation.
I get down with that too.
Pineapple on a pizza should never be allowed.
Most people would order a pizza with pepperoni on it. I happen to prefer sausage more than the pepperoni.
Oh, I know you do.
Because the pepper.
What? I'm watching.
You're such an idiot.
What did I say?
The sausage doesn't generate as much grease as pepperoni. Pepperoni greases up a pizza.
What'd I say? Why is Ray laughing?
You're laughing, man. I'm just laughing.
It's another one of your stupid sophomore double entendres.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, the meat lovers pizza?
You're right. Pepperoni does a lot of grease.
It's the number one topping.
A lot of grease.
But it generates a lot of grease.
Now, I do like a nice margarita, too.
Yeah.
With the fresh mozzarella and the basil leaves. Yeah.
You could talk me into that, too.
Yeah.
Man, pizza is the best. Like, if there's one food you could eat every day, it would be pizza.
Go have a slice.
Yeah.
Yeah, have a slice. Wash down that Kind bar. With
I know.
Some greasy pepperoni.
I shouldn't have had the Kind bar. I just missed it. I didn't know we were getting all that. Where'd you say it was from?
Tony Roney's.
That his real name, you think?
What's wrong with you today, man? Seriously.
He got to talk to the kids. It's what it was.
Is that what it is?
They're all like, whoa.
Did he dazzle the kids, Ray? Did you see his presentation?
It was dazzling.
Was it
truly
dazzling?
remarkable. It was an incredible half hour in that room.
Well, when I walked in, they all said, "That's Bill Colarulo."
Yeah.
And there was a question mark at the end of that. That's
I'm
Bill
only kidding.
Colarulo.
I don't know if anybody knew who the hell I was.
Kids of that age have no idea who I am. Forget about it.
I don't think they had any idea.
No, they didn't grow up listening to me. They were born when I came back here.
Dude, I was
talking 2008.
It's even worse. They thought I was one of their classmates.
Yeah, you did look like one of their guys. But I'm like talking to them because the topic, as Ray said, of the class was why are we the way we are as a fan base? So I'm like, a lot of you, we didn't see our first World Series until 2008 because we were born after 1980, and then I found out they were all born in 2008.
That's a tough scene.
Did you notice a couple kids were checking out? a little yawnish and playing with their hair. And
No, they were all locked in.
Yeah, I thought there were a couple kids a little bored.
TikTok generation.
At least with my.
They like to scroll.
By the way, Bill, smell my mic stand. Smell my mic. smell my mic screen. Yeah, smell it.
I don't know if I want to.
Yeah, smell it.
Smells like pizza.
No, it doesn't smell like pizza. It smells fresh.
What'd you spray it
I
with?
took it home and I scrubbed it with Mr. Clean.
Mr. Clean?
I can't get enough.
Is that how you clean these things?
Well, I do. I don't know what you do. I take them home and I scrub them out.
Mine smell.
Disinfect them.
I haven't disinfected it. That's pretty nasty.
Yeah, you got to disinfect it. All right, we're talking about the Phillies here. They lost 4 in a row. What does it mean? I don't know if it means a lot, but they played 6 games without Harper with no retribution. Now, what does that mean? I don't know. If you stretch the thought process, you go, they weren't mad enough. They weren't angry enough that happened. There was no retribution. At least if they had gotten that, maybe you go into this Milwaukee series with a little edge, but they didn't go into the Milwaukee series with a little edge, and they got swept the hell out of there. And then there was yesterday's game with Weston Wilson and Trey Turner. And then now there's the bullpen situation. They're trying to sell you that Taijuan Walker is going to be in a high leverage situation. They're a good team. They are a good team. And they're in the playoffs, and they're in a pretty good seeding in the playoffs. But the good team is measured by whether they can win it all. Doesn't matter anymore whether you're just a good team. And now it is clearly up to the general manager to solidify a couple spots. And while I'm at it, I don't know what the manager was thinking yesterday by having Weston Wilson hit against the right-handed reliever when he had Kepler on the bench as a left-hander who plays better defense than Weston Wilson. I still can't get over it.
Yeah, that one didn't make any sense. That one did not make any sense, and Rob Thompson had said it after the game, too. Yeah, he should have pinch hit. I don't know what he was thinking in the moment, though. But, look, I don't want to get too much on Rob Thompson because I've liked the way he's managed so far this season. But that was a big blunder. And then on Saturday, I know he was ejected, but he's got to get a message to somebody to get Luzardo out of that game. You can't do that to that kid. Like, that was a major violation. So I don't like a lot of the things Topper did in that Milwaukee Brewers series at all.
You toppered him. I like that.
Yeah, I gave him
all
a
right, let's
topper.
go back to the phones. We got Chris and Delco as a trade proposal. Chris, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. What's up, Chris?
How you doing, Mike?
Good.
Big fan of your show. I
Thanks,
just wanted to talk a little bit about center field. I really don't like what we're doing out in center field. Is there any possible way maybe a guy like Byron Buxton with 3 years of control at $15 million? I know it's a big name. So you're going to have to pay a big price, but is there any way that we can just shore up the outfield with that maybe without having to get rid of
it's a pretty good. It's a pretty
Miller
good name.
Pavement?
It's a pretty good name. You're going to have both Minnesota Twins playing together again if you do that, right? Byron Buxton's a pretty good name, but then like, what are you going to do? You got to trade one of your center fielders in that deal? I think you can make that work, maybe.
Yeah, I was thinking also for a bullpen arm, maybe call up Washington. Think about Kyle Finnegan. I kind of like him, but I like Bautista, but I don't know if he's going to get back to what he was. He hasn't been as good of late this year.
Finnegan has not been as effective as he once was, but that would be a power arm that would help. But I like him.
Oh, sorry to cut you off there, Mike. I was just trying to say
you cut off Bill, actually. Bill had something to say here.
Oh, Bill.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
I like Byron Buxton, but my question would be, why would the Twins trade him? They're in a wild card race, and if he's under team control and he's still young, why would they trade him?
Because they've had too much time with him trying to rehab from injuries. They're kind of tired of the whole thing. Yeah.
He's always hurt, and also they haven't been hitting at all this year. Their pitching's the only reason why they're winning games.
Well, they're not going to improve their hitting if they grab Marsh or Rojas in that deal. To be honest with you.
Yeah, well, would you trade Justin Crawford for him too? Would you add?
I would not. No, I mean Justin Crawford is close to being your starting center fielder for a long period of time. I would not give him up. I mean that's a position of need right now in the Phillies minor league system.
Yeah, I would. Who are your untouchable prospects? Is what I would.
Well, too. I'm not so sure about the shortstop at this point. I think he's got to play third base. If they're considering moving on, maybe you trade Bohm and you haven't played third. I don't think he's a major league shortstop. But those two prospects, I would not want to get rid of. Anybody else is game for me.
Also, just one more thing. Do you think they could trade Bohm for any third baseman? Maybe Arenado. Then again, you're going to have that.
No, there's no. Now, why would you want to trade Bohm at this point for Arenado?
I really don't. I haven't been satisfied with his at bats lately. I don't.
Yeah,
think
that's not a move that would help you that much, to be honest with you. I think Bohm is fine as your third baseman until you want to make him. Maybe he's a trade piece if the kid is ready to come up.
Okay. All right, that's all.
You got it, Chris. That's a pretty good call. All right, 610-632-0975. Uncle Frank is checking in. Always good to hear from Uncle Frank, isn't it? He's not that big a fan of yours.
Yeah, he usually takes shots at me, but I still love you.
All right, 610-632-0975. Text board is open. Phone calls are open. We got you. We're back after this.
Philadelphia Union Soccer.
97.5, The Fanatic. All right, so we went over the ending of Inside the NBA with the crew. Shaq, Ernie Johnson, Kenny Smith, and, of course, Charles Barkley. And they've had people like Draymond Green in and Jalen Rose. And I'm not sure that's necessary, but they did have them in. But there have been some really good moments and funny moments and inside the NBA, and so Ray has accumulated some favorite clips from the show.
Oh, nice.
So let's just sit back and here's some inside the NBA clips.
All right, this one right here, I think with the sophomore humor we already had in this 12 o'clock hour, Charles Barkley was talking about working in the post, and he used phrasing that made Shaq lose his mind. Here you go.
That's not what Draymond's doing. Draymond is bracing. Yeah, and Joker, instead of going around him, he's just banging and banging and banging. When a guy's banging you spin off of him. Those are the worst defenders to play against, actually, because if you can feel their body, come on.
18 points for Joker, only Nugget in double figures. 69-59. Golden State shooting 67.
You're way out of order right now.
It sounds like Ray and Bill. All right, that's as sophomoric as Ray and Bill. They get all jacked up when moments like that. You can feel somebody's body.
When a guy is banging you.
And the best part of it, though, is Charles. Come on. Like he's so annoyed.
Yeah. It's like me. Hey, come on. All right, what else you got? Ray?
Another one here. They played the game of where is this player this season, and Aaron Brooks came up. And Aaron Brooks was no longer in the NBA.
Aaron Brooks. Who does Aaron Brooks play for?
You done forgot where
This is the last one.
He was in Phoenix last year.
He should know because you live in Phoenix. You can probably track where he has been.
No.
All right, Charles, who you got?
Yeah. He's either playing in China or Japan.
China or Japan. We need to
That's not the name of the
more
team.
specific.
Guangdong Tigers. Ni hao! Ni hao! Ni hao! Victory lap! Victory lap!
Oh, the Long Dong Tigers, he says. Well, he ripped that off of the movie 16 Candles. Where the character's name
Molly
was
Griswold?
Long Duck Dong.
I haven't seen that movie in a long time.
Remember that movie?
It's from the 80s, right? With Molly Griswold? Is that her name?
Molly Griswold.
What's her name? Oh, no, the Griswolds is from Vacation.
That's Clark Griswold.
Yeah, Clark Griswold.
Molly
Ringwald. There we go.
Yes. You remember that movie? That was a good movie. That was actually funny. Anthony Michael Hall as the geek.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Well, he's under the coffee table. Jake! All right. Ray's going, what the hell?
Yeah, Ray.
If you believe it or not,
Put that
I
on the list.
haven't seen that movie.
Long Duck Dong was the character's name in that, so Shaq ripped it off.
What's Molly Ringwald up to these days? She had quite an 80s career, and then
like
she
100
disappeared,
years old
didn't
now.
she?
What do you expect her to do? She's like in her 60s.
She's 57. Is she still in movies?
I don't know. She might have done a little part here and there.
Well, she had like all those movies, like Breakfast Club,
they were
16 Candles.
Yeah, they were all in the same category. Those
Pretty
young
in Pink.
actors. Yeah, I hated Pretty in Pink.
Wait, was she a part of the Brat Pack? Or was that only the guys?
Technically, she was, yeah. Andrew McCarthy. Remember him?
Rob Lowe was in the Brat Pack.
Rob, of course, was big time in the Brat Pack. All right. You got another?
I got another. Rockets and Clippers back in 2019. If you remember, that was when the police were called because they were worried about an altercation in the hallway. And Shaq and Charles could not believe that you would actually call the police on an opposing team.
They got, wait. They got a police presence? Are you kidding me? Wait, come on, man.
Numerous social media reports that LAPD was called.
LAPD was called. See, these two, man. Come on, man. Nobody laughing. Come on, man. Because they would. The issue is that they would relish for a guy to come in and lock him after them. Hey, Chuck. Hey, Chuck. I don't know what this is. I don't know why. Hello, police. Chris Paul trying to beat me up. This is Blake Griffin. Chris Paul trying to get in the locker room. Get down here and save me. Wait.
Hello, police. That's the funniest. Hello, police.
Chris Paul's trying to beat me up.
Ray, do you have The one was classic when Charles tried to tell those guys that, like, sometimes they had to take showers in their uniforms because they get the uniforms washed after games in college. You have that one?
Oh, you played that one before, so we should have it somewhere in the system.
You got to find that one. That's hysterical. Come on, man.
Where's Chuck spend Where's he spend his summers? Is
Charles
he here?
It's funny about Charles. Because I've heard, I've been around him when he does this. He'll tell a story like it's like actually true when he's making it up as he goes along, but he doesn't know he's making it up. He actually thinks it's true.
He starts to believe it?
Yeah, it's weird. It's very strange.
So is he back in town now? Right? He moves back for the summer times, right?
Yeah, he does. He probably is back in town now. We're going to get him to stop in.
Well, doesn't he, does he owe you dinner or you owe him dinner? Remember that I forget what that was about.
I think I owe him dinner.
I believe he did not have the Chiefs covering in the Super Bowl, and Mike did.
Oh, that's what it was.
So he
that's
lost.
Right.
He lost the bet.
No, you did.
Oh, I lost it?
Because I think Charles said he was going to. The Eagles were going to crush him.
We got to play golf, and I owe him dinner.
That's what it is.
Yeah, but he doesn't play on. He says he doesn't play on weekends. So when am I going to play? I can't play.
You'd have to play.
He would have to play. He would have to play on a weekend.
Or you could play after the show.
No, that's squeezing it in, man. You're going to have a nice day.
You got these long summer days now.
Yeah, I don't think it works. No, anyway. 610-632-0975. Get back to our text board. We got all kinds of other stuff to talk about, including. Can I just read this one more time? Because I can't believe it. That somebody would write this. You
going back to Rube?
Hold on a second. There weren't a lot of conclusions to draw, especially with a bunch of veterans sitting at the voluntary session. One thing did stand out. Tanner McKee is a freaking beast. I can't believe that fingers could actually write that. Come on, Rube.
Yeah.
Seriously? All right.
I don't get it. Not after OTAs, man. Come on now.
Come on. 610-632-0975. Back after this.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Swept by the Brewers. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. Phillies got swept this weekend by the Milwaukee Brewers, now having lost 4 games in a row. Sunday was a 5-2 loss where defensive miscues struggled with runners in scoring position doomed them. Phillies have now been outscored 37-14 in the last 4 games, falling to second place in the National League East. They get a day today to regroup before they head to Toronto for a 3-game set. Zach Wheeler gets to start Tuesday night against the Blue Jays to try and end the losing skid. Eagles OTAs continue this week with 3 practices, one of which will be open to the media. We assume we'll hear from players then. We'll carry those pressers for you live right here on the Fanatic. Someone who will not be at OTAs is Bryce Huff, who's reportedly been traded to the San Francisco 49ers for a mid-round draft pick. That trade can become official this week because we passed that June 1st threshold of the NFL calendar. And the Union had a scoreless draw versus FC Dallas over the weekend, still in first place in the Eastern Conference in Major League Soccer. This update is brought to you by Erie Insurance, celebrating 100 years of protecting your family's most priceless moments. Then, now, always Erie Insurance. ErieInsurance.com. That's ErieInsurance.com. I'm Ray Dunn on your home for NBA Finals action, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
53. In a little bit, we're going to explore this the Generation Z and their reluctance to start a tab. In a way, I understand it, but we'll get into the logistics of that. But right now, a lot of people on hold, and we got to go to Uncle Frank from Westchester wants to weigh in on the NBA Finals. Uncle Frank, what's happening? How you doing? Uncle Frank?
Is that a lawnmower?
Hello.
I'm sitting on my tractor. Good Lord, you got me.
Attaboy.
Listen, Michael, you can make a whole show playing those clips.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Yeah, we got to find that one with the
Yes, I know. Yep. Didn't Molly Griswold, wasn't she married to Cousin Eddie? I'm trying to remember.
Ray doesn't even know to hit the joke on that.
Happy Manic Monday. Anyway, Mike, when you go on a diatribe, whether at Bill, the Fightins, whatever, you morph into Mad Dog Russo. It's quite entertaining.
Well,
you really do.
I don't sound like him. Like he's got a distinct sound.
No, of course.
Yeah, but a diatribe, there's certain things, Uncle Frank, that get me. Like not retaliating for Bryce Harper getting hit in the elbow and getting out for 6 games. It's got me. It's underneath me.
I'm with you. Look what it's done. He's still not playing.
They took him out for 6 games, and you got nothing out of it except he's out for 6 games. You got no satisfaction.
Go ahead, man. Don't keep going. So, hey, Bill, I want you to spell pneumonia, and I'll spot you the first letter N. So, go ahead.
No, don't trick me with the end. It's a P. Pneumonia.
Is that right?
My man.
Yeah.
Is that right? Is that correct? Oh, my God.
Yeah. What? Look at this. I didn't see this coming.
I didn't either.
So, I'm quite intrigued with the NBA Finals. Oh, by the way, I love when you reminisce, Michael, about Steve-O. What do you guys used to say at the end? Give him the snappy?
I gave him the snap. He used to go, he thought it was ridiculous how people had sign-offs. So he would go, yeah, here's my sign-off.
Oh, yeah.
See ya. So it's the snappy close, he would call it.
He would, that story blacks out, wakes him up in Puerto Rico was amazing.
It really is pretty fascinating.
Actually, you know what, Bill, I think you and Steve have some commonality there, but...
No.
Unfortunately... All right, I'm not going to...
No, two distinct different personalities.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yes, of course. Substance abuse.
Steve-O was,
kind of blacks.
So Bill naturally blacks out? Oh, that's not right, Uncle Frank. Come on, man.
Bill, you're the best, man. So I love the way these teams are coached. They're, athletic, quick, long, right? Mm-hmm. Great help defenses. I love the half-court sets. And not only offensively, but and defensively. And I think it's great to watch. It's going to be entertaining. Well,
yeah, I am actually. I love good basketball, Uncle Frank, but I'm not that interested in watching this. I don't know why, because I appreciate the way both teams play, but I'm not ready to appreciate both teams with small markets playing in an NBA Finals. That's the problem that I face.
Yeah, but I think you'd be okay with it if you thought it was going to be a competitive series.
Oh,
you're probably.
I actually think it's going to be more competitive than you think. Every game will be more like Oklahoma City's going to win the series, but I think every game is going to be entertaining and competitive. I don't think the Pacers are going to get blown out, especially with T.J. McConnell on the roster. He won't let them get blown out.
Good call on that one. It's a good call. He's going to keep it close.
T.J. McConnell is in the NBA Finals.
You think McConnell's going to take the ball from Isaiah Joe, or is Isaiah Joe going to shoot over him?
T.J. is in the NBA Finals, and my name's Abraham Lincoln.
I think the Pacers are going to win one game in the series, and it's going to be known as the T.J. McConnell game. He's going to go off, right?
I can't wait.
It's going to be great to come in here.
He's going to go off, all right.
And let Mikey Miss know. Just change the topic for 1 second. Some big news out of the NFL.
Got some breaking news?
Not necessarily Eagles-related news, but certainly helps the Eagles.
Oh, what do you got?
This is a shocker. Lions All-Pro and Pro Bowl center Frank Ragnow, one of the game's best, has informed the team he plans to retire. He's only 29 years old. So the Detroit Lions star center is retiring unexpectedly. That's a huge loss for the Detroit Lions. At this point, free agency's over, the draft is over. They just lost their center for next year. So that's big news considering that the Detroit Lions have the second best odds in the NFC to go to the Super Bowl.
Don't worry about it, men. We'll carry on. We'll find another center, men.
That's exactly what he's going to say. A lot of you men may have heard Frank Ragnow decided to hang up the cleats. But what we're going to do, man, is we're going to rally the troops. That's going to be Dan Campbell.
And he will rally the troops. He will rally. It doesn't matter Frank Ragnow or no Ragnow. The Lions probably win that game against the Eagles this year.
I don't want to hate on Dan Campbell anymore. Newfound respect for Dan Campbell not voting against the tush push the Detroit Lions. Good job by that.
Frank Rag not now. It's what
Rag?
Well, I don't think it's worth all that. It's 1 o'clock. You're listening to Mike Missanelli Show, 97.5 The Fanatic on WPN HD1, Burlington, Philadelphia. And you are listening to us from the Comcast Business Studios, powering possibilities. The 12 o'clock hour has been brought to you by Service First HVAC, offering 0% financing for 48 months, rebates and tax credits up to $4,300 when purchasing a heating and cooling system. Learn more at ServiceFirstHVAC.com. Let's go to the text board to start the 1 o'clock hour, and we'll get back to the phones, and we'll talk about this Gen Z thing, which is very strange to me, and I need to have a Gen Zer explain it to me. But what's the text board saying right now, Ray, at 1 o'clock?
Yeah, we got a couple of texters chime in on the pizza debate we had, as well as Bill not being able to operate a lawnmower. People are still going off on you about that, Bill. People are very disappointed in your ability to do that. But in terms of the Phillies conversation, we had someone chime in, a first-time texter. I think the second base shortstop dynamic is the way it is because Bryson Stott was a Gold Glove finalist at second base in 2024. Why take away a strong point of the defense with him? They're potentially a Gold Glover in the future. Wouldn't that hurt the defense overall? There's no guarantee that he would be as great at shortstop, and that position change could make you weaker. Great show as always. Thanks.
Yeah, that was Mike's point, that you're weakened in two positions by doing it. Because Turner's not going to be as good at second, Stott's not going to be that great at short.
How enthused will Trey Turner be to play second base? In front of the world, you demote him to second base in favor of Bryson Stott, who you don't even know can play the shortstop.
It would have had to have happened in the offseason. I think it's an easier sell to tell Trey in the offseason, hey, we want you to focus more on the plate. We're going to move you to the easier position of second. I think you could sell it to him that way. But not now, you're right.
By the way, about this lawnmower thing, it's really interesting for a man used to yanking his chain that you won't yank the chain.
Mike's on fire today, Ray. Hit it again. That button's getting a lot of use.
Yeah.
Almost as much use. No, I was going to say something else. Never mind.
That's good. That's good of Jimmy in Germantown. Jimmy, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Jimmy.
Mike, what's up? It's your favorite uncle cousin. What's happening?
What's up, Jimmy?
Not much. I enjoyed my. How was your weekend? Pardon me.
My weekend was good. What'd you do this weekend?
My daughter turned 2 last Thursday, so we threw her a birthday party out the Delco.
Nice. What kind of? Did you have any characters come in, or you have one of those slides that you put in the yard?
No, it was a thing. We had a moon bounce in the yard, though. Nice eyes.
Ah, nice.
They ate all the food, Mike.
Beautiful.
They ran through all the food, Mike.
I'm sure they did. I'm sure they did.
Me or my daughters.
Were you checking plates, Jimmy? You checking plates?
I wasn't checking plates, but I was on the grill, Mike. I could only do but so much on the grill. You know, once I put all the food out, it's out.
I got you.
I called to talk about no retaliation. What was that last week when they hit Bryce, sat my man down for 6 games?
6 games. 6 games worth, and they smiled and got out of town.
And then they lost. Then they got swept by the Brewers. What's happening?
Well,
that's 1.
4 losses in a row. Not good.
The NBA Finals. 2, the NBA Finals, the battle of the NBA Finals of the small markets.
Yep. That
should be interesting. I like SGA. That guy's tough. He's a problem. He's a problem.
Listen, Oklahoma City, I've seen him a lot this year. Oklahoma City plays, they really defend. And I appreciate that.
I got them in 5.
Yeah, I think you're right about that.
I used to go to Lincoln High School, so we had a pizza store across the street named Gene's Pizza Store. I didn't mind pizza. I'm really a once a week kind of pizza guy though. I'm not about to. I can't do it every day. It's not that often.
Yeah, I
And
got to be
my
honest with you.
final
I don't eat a lot of pizza. I don't know why. I just don't go pizza anymore for some reason.
I
But
think
like
I don't
today,
do it.
when it's brought in and it's for free, Jimmy, that's for me.
Oh hell yeah! Take advantage. Take advantage.
Absolutely.
No
And
one
my
does it
last
better than
one, I was
Ray
just
Dunn.
My last one, I was telling your producer, Chuck was talking about the churros and the heavyset women in San Antonio. Y'all got to pull that up. That's one of the funniest inside the NBA
Yeah,
clips ever.
yeah. Chuck and San Antonio women don't get along very well. But I think the funniest.
Oh, man.
Come on, Jimmy. The funniest thing is he's trying to sell those guys the fact that he had to take a shower in his uniform because of what they didn't have washing
I
machine.
did hear
clearly.
that. He said that they had washing machines, so they showered with their clothes
Yeah,
on.
come
the
on,
uniforms
man.
On, and
Come
he
on.
wore the same thing like several times.
Yeah, let's take that out
That
the
was
street,
hilarious.
Chuck. Come on, that's terrible. Yeah, that's.
I'm gonna miss seeing them run to that board with Kenny and his bad
Well,
knees.
maybe they'll still have the board with Kenny and his bow legs.
It sounds to me, everything I read, that they're going to keep this pretty much intact. Like, Turner's still going to be producing it. They're going to let them broadcast from Atlanta. Like, ESPN would be dumb to try to mess with something that's a proven success.
Yeah.
Like, they did the same thing with McAfee. Like, you're not a huge McAfee guy, but they didn't change that show when they brought it to ESPN. They let them do whatever they were doing.
It's because ESPN doesn't own that show. McAfee owns the show. He licensed it to them.
But with this,
They don't have
even
that
though they
influence.
may own
They
the
got
show,
influence on this one.
Yeah, but they're not producing it, so maybe they don't. Why would you change it? If it's working, why change it?
I hear you, but ESPN likes to get their ESPN hands in there.
Yeah, I guess.
I guess no more SVP after games with Timmy Legs. Is that gone, Ray?
That's what I don't understand. I'm trying to figure out what they're going to do because you don't invest all that into SVP, but you also don't invest all that into inside the NBA.
Well, it's not like SVP wouldn't be available when every other sport's going on. He'll still do the Monday Night Football post game.
Yeah, he will still do that. But hey, SVP, you know how you've redone our entire nighttime ratings? Guess what? We're going to put you to the side, and here comes Inside the NBA.
Well, they could do, well.
Also, here's all that money we invested into the studios for SVP and for all those people that work down there, and now you guys only working 3 weeks a night. Like, they got something they got to figure out. I mean, this is not the first time I think ESPN's invested in something and then had to figure it out later. So
True.
I'm sure they're going to try and figure it out over the summer, but I'm very intrigued as to what they're going to get out of this product.
Yeah.
All right, Ray, do we have any more clips? Do we have that washing for uniform clip?
I'm pulling that one right now because that was from the tournament, NCAA tournament. So that wasn't
that's
Inside
what
the
it
NBA.
was for, the NCAA tournament?
Oh, yeah, that's
when
what
he
it
did
was when he was talking. So it wasn't on Inside the NBA.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite personality on that show?
Oh, it's got to be Charles.
It's Chuck?
Yeah, it's got to be Charles. And I like Shaq on that show.
What do you think of Kenny? What does Kenny add in your view?
Well, I mean, they're the perfect mix. Those four together are great.
Yeah.
But Charles.
Shaq adds the least.
Yeah, but the way he interacts with Charles
But you
is great.
need to have him.
Yes. You need all of them.
Kenny is a little too technical sometimes. He tries to show you how smart he is, but you also need him.
Well,
and Ernie, you need him because he knows how to he knows how to pass the rock.
Yeah, Ernie's the point guard, but Kenny provides some sort of basketball analysis.
He
It's
does.
not like Charles and Shaq are.
No, they're not half the time not even watch.
No.
I get it.
But
All
they
right.
are good.
We're gonna continue to have more clips on after this. And we got your boy Ish. What could Ish be saying about Ray today? Does Ray have any ammo? Because Ray did something good for the people. They brought a class in.
He did.
And arranged for everybody to speak to the class. I mean, yeoman work by Ray today. Friends Central.
Ray's always doing stuff like that. He's a good
What's
kid,
Friends
that kid.
Central's tuition these days, Ray?
Oh, that's got to be
Considerable.
crazy.
I'm sure he's going to hit me with a joke about, weren't you in that class?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Might have to go there. Now
The
that you
punchline's
revealed
too
it,
easy.
He may have to come up with something different.
Yeah. Come up with some better material.
All right. 610-632-0975 is how you get in. The Mike Missanelli Show continues.
We want to hear from you, so text us at 610.
got to tell you a quick girlfriend story, but I'll tease that for later.
Your girlfriend or another?
Yeah. It has to do with a bird, a disabled bird.
I think they got a pill for that.
See, again, with the double entendres and the sophomore humor.
That one was too easy.
Yeah. It has to do with a bird and a wing. It's a wing. It's a leg. But in the meantime, let's go to Ish and Levittown. Ish, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Ish.
Hey, Mike, how are you?
What's happening, Ish?
Hey, okay. First, I want to address the Bryce Harper situation. Mike, he's been out 6 games. I think they should have done something. I don't know when they're going to see the Braves again, but Bryce being out 6, I think is very bad for the team.
They got no satisfaction out of that, none, and the guy was out for 6 games.
I agree, and I don't know. I remember you saying like I don't agree. I don't even know where this team is at this point. It's kind of dark. It seems like they're going down like every year. Like they have losing streaks, then they go to the playoffs, then they lose. It's like like last year they lost in the first round. So like I don't know where this team is going. The outfield has been a problem for the last 3 years, and now we got bullpen problems. So I'm at this point I'm just tired. I don't even.
Well, Ish, I mean they don't sound so fatal here. I mean they're still a good team. They're the 3rd seed right now.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I think you're going a little too far. You're just tired of it. I mean, you never know what's going to happen. Yeah, they have a couple weak spots, and I think it's incumbent upon the GM to fix it right now. But it's not like they're garbage,
I'm not saying they're garbage. It's just I don't know what this team is. It's a lot of unknowns, and Mike, I want to make a request. I got 2 last things. One, I think you should. Do you remember the Chase Utley interview you had with him like way back?
Yes.
You should replay that one day for the people if they haven't heard it.
He wasn't very forthcoming with his answers. He was like, I brought up the fact that he cursed too, didn't I?
Yeah. And I remember at the end where you said he said yup.
He said yup. He upped me. He went yup at the end. Yeah, you're right. I forgot about that interview. Like.
Yeah. I remember when it happened. I was cracking up.
Yeah.
But last thing, is Ray there actually?
Right.
Every time you call,
Ray's
that's
here.
how it
Ray's
works.
here. Yeah.
I produced the program.
I didn't know. Raymond, I seen a little picture of you. You had a little horse thing with the stick on it. You had your little Tundra. You was riding around and you had sunburn on you that day. You was riding around with your little Woney on the day, little Wayman. You still had a little sunburn.
He had a little stick pony out there.
He called them.
Yeah, the little stick pony. Yeah. He used to deliver mail on his little stick pony when he used to come in.
Dude, you're off, man.
Wayman.
Little Wayman.
Wayman. I don't know. That was weird.
He tries.
Yeah, that wasn't. That wasn't biting enough.
My favorite part is when he asks if you're here, though. That's my favorite.
Yeah, is Ray here?
Is Ray there?
Ray there?
No, you've been listening to the show for 3 hours ish.
Yeah.
You listen every day, 4 hours.
See, Ray's got the edge. Every now and then he's got the.
He's got to be funny. There has to be a delivery here. The other one a week ago was good. I thought we were turning the corner with Ish.
Yeah.
Today was tough.
Wait, what did he hit you with last week?
The tricycle. I drove my tricycle down to see Connor to build sandcastles.
That was funny.
That was good. That was funny.
You and Connor hanging out.
Yes. Now he went to the well again on the.
Yeah, went to the
on
hobby
the bike.
horse. He went to the stick horse. So that,
come on, Ish.
That was tough.
It wasn't a connect. All right, so let me tell you this quick story. Yesterday this happened. So my girlfriend has a dog that's hanging at the house now. It's an Australian Shepherd. It's kind of crazy. All it does is run around in circles.
I met the dog.
Yeah, you did meet the dog. It runs around in circles because its brain. It's hurting it hurts everything, like a chair, a table, anything. It's out there hurting. So I look out in the backyard, and the dog's hanging out in the backyard, and there are 2 birds that are standing like near the dog. One's a cardinal, and there's another bird. So she runs out there to see what's up, and it turns out her dog has a little baby bird in its mouth.
Ooh.
The baby bird has obviously fallen out of a nest and is trying to fly, but it has a broken wing. The wing.
So what was the dog doing? Trying to help it or eat it?
The dog doesn't know. It looks like it's a critter. Like, maybe the dog's playing with it in the mouth, like it's a toy or something. So anyway, she gets all freaked out about it. She's on a mission to save the bird. So she calls the wildlife center. And
what did they tell her?
Well, wait a minute. They accept that this is what they do.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, like, is this an over-the-top reaction? Because, frankly, I would have, like, just let the bird, like, let nature take care. Like, maybe the mother would come down and help the bird or whatever. So she has me boil an egg. What? She goes, they like to yell at the yolk. But she doesn't know how to boil an egg. So I boil the egg. Now, if you boil an egg, you bring it to a boil, and then you have to sit it for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Until it's solidified.
Wait, birds eat eggs?
The bird, apparently, the yellow yolk is good for the bird.
Isn't that like a little bit cannibalism?
No, it's not. It's not a fertile egg. It's just an egg at that point. It's no longer a chicken.
Still a little odd.
It's no longer a fowl. It's just an egg.
Okay.
All right. So
you
anyway,
boil the egg.
Yeah, boil the egg. She takes the egg out hot. I go, no, wait. You got to wait. It's like you can't feed that. First of all, it's hot molten lava. Second of all, it hasn't solidified yet. So finally, it solidifies, and she's feeding the yolk to the bird. The bird's eating the yolk.
Wait, where's this? Outside or in the house?
She's in the house.
You brought the bird in.
She's got it in her hand. It's a little bird. It's a little baby bird. It's in her hand. The bird's not moving.
She's used to it.
It's got a bad wing, so the bird can't fly away.
Wait, but she's used to. Yeah, so she's an animal person, right?
She's very much an animal person. So she calls the wildlife. She can't get an answer from the wildlife. Finally, she gets to the wildlife. Wildlife people go, bring her in. So she gets into like an emergency run. Drive like all the way to Norristown, where the wildlife center is. They close at 6. She's got like 45 minutes to get there. It's like a 40-minute trip.
This is a little over the top.
You think so? So
she's a kind woman.
She's a kind soul trying to save her bird. She calls me during the thing. She goes, I think this is a hawk. What do you want from me? I don't know. I don't know one bird from the other. She goes, yeah, I think it's got a big wingspan. It's got a beak. I go, all right, well, whatever. Let me know what happens. She gets it to the wildlife people, and they go, it's a cardinal. And hence, the mother
was
watching the bird in the mouth of the dog and couldn't do anything about it. Now, that takes on a whole richness, that story, doesn't it?
Yes.
The mother flies down, realizes that the bird fell out of the nest, has a broken wing, and the bird is just hanging around watching.
But then,
is that touching? Is that touching?
It is, but it's also heartbreaking because the mom doesn't know that the GF took the bird inside to then save it. She thinks this poor baby is gone now.
Well, she's now decided that she's going to check on the bird and try to return it to the neighborhood.
I don't think that they would take it back.
Huh?
I feel like the mom wouldn't want it now. It's been touched by human hands.
Well, the bird, yeah?
I don't know. I think that she wouldn't acknowledge it. It's done. That bird's going to die no matter what.
Now,
what? I'm serious.
Well,
I think this bird's going to have a hard time. This bird's going to have a hard time.
This is what I'm thinking. Like, I know the wildlife people have good hearts and they're there to do the thing, but I'm thinking, do they think it's worth it to try to save this little baby bird with a broken? Like, what are they going to do? Cast the wing? They're going to put a cast on it? What are they going to do with a bird with a broken wing? How could they possibly save this bird? And I'm thinking that when she goes out the door, they go, yeah, let's get rid of the bird.
No, here's what I think they're going to do. Because there's a wildlife refuge near me. We actually had my daughter's birthday there.
Oh, really?
They will keep this bird forever.
Really?
I don't think you can release this bird back into the wild because it would die. So I think they will nurse it back to health. They will try to fix the wing. If the wing is permanently damaged, it will just stay there, and it will live out its life at the wildlife refuge.
Really?
Because they have all these animals there.
It would be on the IL?
Yes. Like the wildlife refuge Cedar Run over in Medford. They have all these animals there that can't be released back into the wild that they take care of. And you can go and like donate and do different things. Yeah. That's
so
what I
you're
think.
not thinking that if we bring the bird back into the neighborhood and the bird learns to fly again, the mom will be grateful.
I don't know if you could put her back in the wild. That would be my vote.
The St. Louis Cardinal.
Now, if there's any animal experts out there, tell me if I'm correct, but I don't think the cardinal will get released back into the wild at this point. I think it'll remain at the wild.
Well, it was in the dog's mouth, but the cardinal, the mother was still there trying to...
But either way, kudos to the GF. Great job by her.
A lot of people wouldn't do that.
No, a lot of people would
I'm not so sure I would.
You made it clear you would not.
To be honest with you, I've let nature take its course. 610-632-0975. Back after this.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Swept by the Brewers. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. The Phillies got swept this weekend by the Brewers. Now have lost 4 games in a row. Sunday was a 5-2 loss where defensive miscues, struggles with runners in scoring position doomed them. The Phillies have been outscored 37-14 in their last 4 games. They've now fallen into second place in the National League East. They get a day today to regroup before they head to Toronto for a 3-game series. Zach Wheeler gets the ball on Tuesday night to try and end the losing skid against the Blue Jays. Eagles OTAs continue this week. 3 practices, one of which will be open to the media, meaning we will hear from Eagles press. We'll carry those pressers live for you here on The Fanatic. Someone who will not be at OTAs, Bryce Huff, reportedly been traded to the San Francisco 49ers for a mid-round draft pick. We have now passed June 1st, and that mark in the NFL offseason calendar makes this trade eligible to happen. You can now have that happen this week, so that should become official very soon. The Union had a scoreless draw against FC Dallas over the weekend. The Union still first in Major League Soccer's Eastern Conference. This update is brought to you by Payday. Packed with peanuts and filled with golden caramel, Payday is one hard-working candy bar. So grab one now to power you through the day. Payday Peanut Caramel Bar. Get to it. I'm Ray Dunn on your home for the NBA Finals, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Mike Missanelli Show, 97.5 The Fanatic. All right, so I go into my own personal Twitter, and this guy who tweets into our you and my account, and also 97.5 The Fanatic Twitter account. Here's what he says. His name's Sean. Phillies go on a 7-game win streak. Crickets. Lose 4 in a row. Now time to pile on. Radio 101. Now, see,
I don't think we've piled
That's
on.
unfair. It's unfair. Because when they went on a 7-game win streak, we lauded them. We talked about it. Losing 4 in a row is not the issue. We talked about and we analyzed what happened yesterday. And yesterday, there was a managerial mistake. And there were a couple of misplays, one an error, one should have been an error, that prevented them from winning a game. That's why they have lost 4 in a row. Yesterday issue was, and so it's not fair. Why you got to do that to us? Why?
But yeah, and I don't think we've been piling on. I mean, I even said it. You don't want to overreact to 4 games.
We're saying what needs to be said. Right now, the issue was what they did yesterday. The issue is how they changed their bullpen now, with Taijuan Walker being one of the top 4. And the issue for me is still no retaliation. You missed 6 games with your superstar because of that, and you didn't have an edge. If you take care of the business the same day that he gets hit in the second inning, you develop a little bit of an edge, and maybe that edge is enough to carry you through where you win 2 or 3 instead of losing 3 straight to the Milwaukee Brewers.
Yeah, and listen, and we've said this on the show today. We think this is a good baseball team, but that is no longer the bar for the Phillies. The bar is no longer getting to October. We need a team to get over the hump and get to another World Series with this core group that you have right now. So this weekend highlighted some of the issues we've known were there, the bullpen mostly, but then some of the other ones. Like, as good as Luzardo has been, and this is my concern, you don't want to overreact to one start, but he just passed last season's inning total, and then he has that as his first start. Let's hope he can bounce back, but again, this just highlights you don't want to overuse these guys, and this is the trickle effect. When your bullpen's not that good, you're going to push Luzardo more than maybe you should be. You're going to push Ranger more than maybe you should be because you can't turn things over to that bullpen. And now maybe are we starting to see the trickle effect where your starting rotation is going to get taxed a little bit. You got to look at the big picture here. We're not overreacting to 4 games. It's just highlighted some of the problems that this team has.
There you go. So come on, Sean. Be fair. We don't ignore them when they win.
No, in fact, last week I think I spouted off all types of stats about what they were doing in the month of May and how impressive it was.
Right. Don't give me crickets.
However, and we said this last week and it got highlighted this weekend, they haven't been very good against teams over 500. They're 13-15 on the season. Toronto is a team over 500. They got to bounce back tomorrow. You got to see. And you're going to have Mick Abel in the starting rotation this week.
That's correct. Afternoon game, 3:05 game he's pitching.
What are they going with? Wheeler, Sanchez, Abel? Is that the 3 starters, Ray, in this series?
In fact, but that sounds right.
I believe. So those are 3 hopeful winnable games up in Toronto.
There you go.
You know, Robbie T's going home for the weekend.
I know. He's going to spend one night in his house.
One night in his house in Canada. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Always like the Canadian national anthem prior to hockey games.
Hit the hockey horn for him. Right?
Hit it, Ray.
That's what he's fishing for. There you go. By the way,
and guess what? I'm rooting for the Oilers, baby.
Oh, McJesus.
I'm rooting for the Oilers.
Rooting for McJesus, are you?
So you may not care about the NBA Finals, but the NHL Finals, Stanley Cup Finals.
That's going to be a series, folks.
You know who's in that?
What markets are in that? Florida
and Edmonton.
Florida and Edmonton.
And you know who's in that for the Florida Panthers?
Bob.
Sergei Bobrovsky. The guy we gave up on for Ilya Bryzgalov.
There you go.
He may win another cup. This is a rematch of last year's Cup Finals.
Yes, it is. And the Oilers did not come out on the Big End last year. So maybe revenge. You like the Oilers to win it?
I'm rooting for the Oilers.
What's the line? Who's favored?
I think the Panthers are favored. Hold on.
The Panther?
Let me see if the Florida Panthers.
The Panther.
Who's going to win? Panthers are. It's a pick 'em. Oilers are minus 122.
At a pick 'em, I might like the Oilers.
Panthers are plus 102.
I take the Oilmen. All right, Ray. Inside the NBA, we finally had that clip with Charles. This was during an NCAA tournament game when he started talking about how in college they didn't have the budget to wash uniforms.
Shout out to all the trainers also. They have and the guys who do all the uniforms to get these uniforms cleaned up and everything. 'Cause, I mean, I'm so old. We used to take a shower in our uniforms because because we flew commercial my first few years.
Wait, time out. There's no era where you did.
Yes, it is.
Stop! You're making this up.
No, I'm not.
There's no way that you were supposed to wash your uniform with your own.
When I first,
You're making this up.
I'm not making this up.
Let him finish. I've never heard. No one in the right mind has ever done that.
Let him finish, please.
And soap, they give you soap.
Let him finish, Kenny.
When I first got to the NBA, we flew commercial.
Yes,
I'm not disagreeing with you.
So when you played the night before and flew the next morning, when was you exactly going to get your uniform clean? You had to wash your uniform yourself. So after the game, when you got to your room, you took a shower in your uniform and dried and dropped on the commercial airline the next day.
Were you with Jed Clampett?
No, please.
That's why you had to let him finish.
Come on. Yeah, have you ever heard of this in your life, Clark?
No,
well, how are y'all cleaning y'all uniform? Y'all playing in funky uniforms?
No, somebody
washing the dryer or someone else.
When you're flying the next morning,
you can clean your uniform without showering in it.
Well, see, here's the thing that makes sense. Charles didn't figure this part out because you're going to tell a fishtail. Like, once you have the shower in your hotel room, how do you dry it before the next day? You can't put it on a radiator. Not going to dry on a radiator.
And come on, there's no way. I played Division III football, and they washed our clothes. There's no way Chuck's having to wash his own clothes
Chuck,
in college.
You're talking about embellishing the story, but you didn't. There are all too many loopholes, Chuck. You got to button that thing down before you tell a lie.
Like, wait, who was it saying? Let him finish.
Yeah, who was that? Was that Ernie? Well,
No.
Shaq, was it? Shaq would have been.
Oh, this was not inside the NBA. This was on
that's
NCAA.
Right. Oh, that was
Is it
Clark Kellogg.
I was going to say,
that was Clark Kellogg
was
saying.
sticking up for him.
Let him finish.
Let him finish, Kenny. All right, let's go to David in Philly. David, you're on 90. Oh, hold on a second, Dave. Oh, we got a break. So hold on. We'll put him on hold. David will be next. I put him on hold the right way, too.
You're getting good at this new phone system.
About that. 610-632-0975. You want to climb in before we get out of here. We got plenty of time to talk to you on the Mike Missanelli Show, 97.5 The Fan.
Andrew Salciunas.
Of course, that is the theme song to the show Mobland. New episode comes on tonight. Is this the last one? Is this the finale?
I don't know, but I will be watching tonight.
They released it on Monday, which is weird. I was looking for it last night. It wasn't on. Why wasn't it Sunday night? What's the problem?
I don't know. But yeah, tonight is
10.
Is 10.
Is that the last one?
Hold on, I'm going to see. Yeah.
It is?
Damn it.
This is the finale?
The season finale. See, this is why I told you I don't like getting into shows until they've been on for a while and you can binge them. Because we're going to watch tonight and then we're going to have to wait a year.
Yeah, but if you if it's out already, you would know what's happening. Somebody would slip. You would find, somebody would squawk.
Well, that's what happened, unfortunately, with the Game of Thrones. Because I hadn't watched it, and then I remember when the Red Wedding happened, and everybody's tweeting about it. I kind of knew it was coming. It does ruin it a little bit. You're right on that.
All right. Anyway, I got to get back to this thing before we get to our phone call here. David's been hanging. This Gen Z thing, because I want to get Ray. Ray is Gen Zer.
Yeah, wait, what's the definition of a Gen Z? Just so I know.
Him. The age group. His age group.
And like the kids who were just here from the high school, are they also Gen Zs? I think they are.
Are they?
It might be.
I'm looking here. Gen Zs.
Can I be in the same age
It might
group
be.
as that?
It may have turned over.
97 to 2012 is what it's saying. So you are the same.
They're
I
children.
knew you were similar to those high school kids.
Yeah, they're the same. And then it turns over, the lineup. It goes back to Gen A. But in any event, the Gen Zers are not. I got to be honest with you. I got mixed emotions on this. I always feel like I'm guilted into leaving a tab.
To opening up a tab.
Open up a tab.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always feel good. You want to open up a tab and you go, well, yeah, I guess.
Well, sometimes they don't even put that many words. You go, leave it open?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
sure.
anyway,
And then I'm like,
the Gen Zs are standing up to it, and they're going, no, I don't buy a tab. I don't want to open a tab. He said, it's one guy quoted, I'm buying a round of drinks and closing after that. This way, you know how much you're spending. And then one other guy goes, there's a moment of pause when I have to put my card in the reader. He said, every time I buy a drink, management is his spending. But meanwhile, the bartenders are annoyed because they like to turn over drinks a lot and make more money. And if they're delayed by having to run a card every time, they're losing valuable seconds on the customers. So Ray, what is the deal? Is this just a cheapness that is running through Gen Z?
It's interesting to hear everyone defend it with that's how much money is going out. Because to me, I would think it's the are we going to stay at this bar principle. Like, you don't want to be the guy that holds up the group leaving the bar with, I got to go close out. It's like, dude, you've had like 15 minutes here. We knew we were leaving. Why haven't you closed out yet?
So you're a hopper. The Gen Zs are the hoppers.
Well, that's what jumped out to me at first. I also, if I'm buying like a round, there is a sense of if I'm getting like multiple people drinks and it's not just I'm going to get myself a drink, I probably want to close that out to have a general knowledge of what's been put up there. But my guiding principle is usually if I go up to a bartender a second time, regardless of whether or not I think that's my last drink at the bar, I'm opening the tab because I'm respecting the fact that if I get more drinks, I've already taken too much of their time by going with multiple tabs.
All right. I got you. Anyway, this bartender goes, for each moment that one of my guys is standing there fumbling with your cell phone trying to unlock a code, that's time that's missing out on the serving the next person when you're 3 deep on a Friday night. So, they're doing the Apple Pay situation. And he goes, these kids never learned the proper way to be a barfly.
Wow.
It's annoying them.
Well, I will say, I think bar etiquette, and this is not something I can comment on because I wasn't there prior to the pandemic, but this is what I've gotten from older bartenders that have done this because, believe it or not, with a number of bars I've made friends with some of these people, that our etiquette has gotten worse post-COVID.
Yeah.
That, like, we all, like, my generation kind of got to the bars after COVID, and it was like everything was just opening back up, and we just kind of acted like there was no sense of learning how to act at a bar until you got there. That's what bartenders have told me that have been doing this for a while, that we've gotten worse post-pandemic.
All right.
Maybe
I'm at fault.
What's the problem here?
I was going to say, maybe I'm wrong on this, but I would also think, knowing the age range that the Gen Zs are, I doubt there's a lot of people coming in being like, drinks are on me tonight. Like, that could get expensive.
Yeah, no kids do that.
No, but I think there's like hey, you pick up this round, I'll get the next round. As a someone's got to make the journey to the bar to get the drinks and bring them back to wherever you're at the bar.
But at that point, you're not opening up a tab because now all the drinks are going to go on Ray, and then you're going to have to get everyone to Venmo you after the night's over.
Well, no. It's I'm picking up this round, you got the next round. We're keeping it even here.
But you're not opening a tab for that.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
When you think about it, though, I don't want my credit card hanging around, on some shelf. Near the register?
It always does. Yeah, it always made you concerned.
It does.
Like, is this? Did they charge me for things I shouldn't have gotten charged
there might
with?
be some rascal who works there who's going to take down that number, or you leave your card there, which I've done many times.
Same.
I've left my card before too.
That's such a pain in the ass to try to track it. And then you got we haven't found it yet, and then so you cancel all your card, and then they find it, and then
now I had a friend in high school. I'll leave him unnamed because he's still my friend. And this is the crap he used to pull when we were of age. He would put his card up at bars, right? Wherever we went, if we were getting bottle service or whatever. And, it's on me tonight. Oh, yeah, it's on me tonight, right? To impress all the girls and everybody. And then the next day, yo, dude, you owe me $100. Whoa. No.
So that's the point scam.
Yeah,
no. You want to get the credit card points.
Yeah, but I don't owe you anything. You took all the credit last night in front of the group. I ain't giving you anything now.
I agree with that take.
I got a buddy who does it all the time. He goes, I'll pay you. He goes, yeah, we split it. It's like $130 a person. But I'll put it on my card. Hey, I go, you just want the points.
Yeah. The points are good. The points are good.
I like some points to myself.
Yeah,
I got to surrender points.
And then you're probably going to give him cash. You're not going to do the whole Venmo
cash.
thing.
Everybody takes the cash.
You use Venmo at all?
Very, very rarely.
Now,
how much cash you got in your pocket right now? You walk around with a
I don't
lot
have any cash. I didn't take my cash today.
I never have cash.
I have cash.
I got $5 on.
But that's
I right $2. I got to find cash.
But that's the different generations too.
This is my last $5.
Do you usually have cash on you?
No. The only reason I have cash on me is because covers at bars down the shore.
I cover cash only because of the golf course.
I Venmo my lost bets on the course.
Well, forget the lost bets. Don't you pay the caddy master?
Oh, you're right. You do need. I Venmo him too.
Don't you tip the guy after on a beer afterwards?
I Venmo him.
Oh man,
I get the Venmos of the kids.
They want cash.
The kids.
What's wrong with you?
Well, a lot of our guys who clean the clubs are Gen Zers, man.
Yeah, but it's still like the cash.
Who carries
undeclared.
Cash? Who carries cash?
Another bar issue that I've run into is the tabs they put on your phone.
Yeah.
Because I'll forget to close it out. Because I haven't actually closed out the tab. I ordered on the phone. The tab's on my phone. But I realized the next morning, they closed that tab and gave themselves a ridiculous tip on that.
See?
Interesting.
All right. Let's go to David in Philly. He's been hanging. David, thanks for hanging. You're on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Hey, good afternoon.
What's up, Dave?
I wanted to touch on the Phillies real quick. My first point is that this team, in my opinion, I've said it before on the show. I called before, but Bill, he mentioned a part of it earlier when he said that right now, at least, they don't play well against 500 teams. I think this team is average. And I think we have this idea we hang on to that this team is like one of the best teams in the league and, it's just prolific hitters all up and down the lineup. But I think that's what they did, in those few postseason runs a couple years ago. They got hot and they caught a wave, right? But I think that wave died out like sometime last year. And now we're left with the team, like the real team, like the one that came back down to reality. And I think we're having, as a fan base, we're having a hard time accepting that this team is just average. Because
they're not average, David. I mean, they get the third best record in the National League, so that's not average. Yeah, they're a good team.
Well,
are they good enough to win the whole thing? They're weak in a couple areas that I would think that prevent them from winning the whole thing. But they're not average.
Well, I think that's kind of, when it comes to the record, because it's kind of illusory. And in baseball, we tend to, I don't know why, but we tend to ignore sometimes who they play against and just look at the numbers. because
but
last
everybody's
year
in
they
this.
had the-
Everybody's in the same category. Everybody plays the same schedule, so you can't. If they have the third best record right now, and chances are they could still win their division, they can't be an average team. What team in the National League has their pitching staff from 1 to 5?
The Phillies have had on average, they've had the best pitch. Like last year, they definitely had the best pitching staff in the league. Right now, obviously, they don't and have issues.
They have the best starting staff. Who has a better starting staff than that?
Probably the Dodgers. And that's
Okay, the Dodgers aren't in their division.
Or not in the division, but I mean the pitchers are kind of few and far between. So we've been lucky enough to have that.
Yeah, my only thing I'm challenging from you is that they're an average team. They're not an average team. They're a good team. Now, I mean, we can always want more from a lineup, and we want more from certain positions. Like we pick on the weakest spots of their team. That's a natural thing to do. But they're not an average team. If you only want to look at their record against 500-plus teams, it looks like they're an average team. But they're not. They're a good team.
And even with that being said, and I've highlighted their record against 500 teams, you look at the National League, there are only 4 teams that have an above 500 record against teams with above 500 record. Like the Mets have been really good, 18 and 10.
Mm-hmm.
The Dodgers against teams 500 and higher, 12 and 10.
Yeah.
The Giants 16 and 15. And the Cardinals 16 and 12.
Baseball usually balances out. Yeah. But I will say, when you have a starting staff as good as the Phillies, you should have a better record against the 500-plus teams.
Agreed. Now, that number was skewed a little bit because they got swept by the Brewers and they got swept by the Mets earlier in the season. So that skews it a little. But it is something I'm not going to use the word concern, but something to be aware of how they perform going forward against these better echelon teams.
So you're still not, even though I've been trying to tenderize you like Rocky on the ribs all day about the Bryce Harper thing. I still haven't gotten you. They had a lack of fight against the Brewers.
Let me ask you one question.
Yeah,
If they retaliated against the Braves, do you still think that they would have been swept by the Brewers?
No.
See, I can't go.
No,
I can't.
Absolutely do not think so, because the juices would have got flowing, and they would have gone into the series, I think, with a little bit of an edge. And it's always better to go into a series with an edge than not.
Okay, so that edge would have prevented Trey Turner from committing the error?
I don't know.
It would have prevented Weston Wilson from making the bad play and left?
Maybe the game wouldn't have gotten to whether Weston Wilson or Trey Turner would have influenced.
Luzardo wouldn't have given up 12 earned?
Who knows?
Come on, man.
Who knows?
Come on, you don't know baseball. That felt good, Ray.
I don't know.
That felt really good.
Bastard.
I'm so glad there's just 1 minute left in the show.
Yeah, I know.
I have a strong feeling it's going to get you.
Is there anybody here who knows baseball? Remember that day?
I wasn't here that day.
Oh, you weren't here that day.
I got text saying they're going to kill each other without you. Where
Mike
are
literally
you?
walked out of the studio screaming through the hallways if there was anyone that knew baseball.
I also love that somehow I became level-headed.
Yeah.
Did I do that?
It was the day I said they're going to put Sosa in left. Never! And then they did. I think you also said you were going to buy me baseball for dummies that day. But anyway, it was a fun show today, Mike.
I actually have. I'm executing baseball for dummies every day.
You're doing a service.
You just aren't reading it in a book. All right, in any event, thanks for listening, everybody. We had a fun time today. We were all over the map talking about a lot of stuff today.
We were. We'll do it again tomorrow.
Gen Z, bartenders, the whole bit.
I go open up a bar tab tonight just because of that conversation.
There you go. Have a great rest of the night. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.